Okay, so pod B, I would say you're gonna want to make sure you feel comfortable with the Dofemir, because I don't know necessarily what your goal for the event is. I know me personally, my goal for every event that I play is my goal is to win it. That hasn't happened yet for me. Hopefully one day soon it will. Hopefully Dallas. But my goal is always to win. And myself, Jonas, and Impact are all in Pod B. So if your goal is to win the event, you're gonna want to be studied up on the mirror for sure. What is up with it? Hope you guys enjoyed that little intro. This is probably going to be the last coaching session I post before we know the ban list. But I think there's some good stuff in here. That audio clip is from a coaching session that happened just a couple days before the event. I actually really wanted to post that full session, but the coachee's audio unfortunately was not recorded by OBS. So this is going to be a different coaching session with a different person. I think you guys will find it helpful. But the main thing I wanted to bring up here was I think channel memberships are coming soon, or maybe a Medify or something, some way that you guys can help contribute to the channel. I don't do this for money, just to be completely honest with you. But getting some money from it will allow me to put it back in. So I want to know what you guys want to see. If you want to see, membership, tournaments with prizing, if you guys want to see extra content, like stuff that I wouldn't normally post, like whether it be like guides or me playing with other great players, a little sneak preview into maybe some internal testing, or whatever you guys would like to see. I'm open to all ideas. I'd love to hear what you guys think would be fair pricing structure, everything. And everything I make, I'm going to put right back in the channel. This is not about money for me. Completely honest, it's not. This is a passion. This is a hobby. And I just want to be able to provide as much good content for you guys as possible. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy this coaching session.
Hello, hello.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah? Yeah, I can hear you. You can hear me, I take it?
Right.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I was watching this like really good video. I don't know if you've ever seen this guy before.
I haven't. Will you send me the link actually? I'd love to check it
Oh, I
out.
got you.
Fuck yeah. Oh, thank you.
Dude,
I'll watch that right after this.
I've been sitting on this bit all day.
Have you really?
Yeah, I guess 4 hours because I saw the video and I was like, no way he puts up a deckless video before this. So I'm sick. I wanted to watch it at work, but then I got busy. But alas, here we are.
You'll just have to watch it later tonight, I guess.
I will. Maybe my deck list will change, but I doubt it. I actually really like the list.
Yeah, honestly, all the Dofi lists, like I don't know if you watched last week's going over the treasure cup, but last week there's a lot of like Kaido and Mihawk that people were playing,
Right.
which really
The
surprised
9
me.
cost Mihawk?
Yeah, the 9 cost Mihawk. There were a lot of lists that got, like, I think there were at least 3 or 4 top 8 lists between Europe and America that ran Mihawk or Kaido, I think.
That feels a little troll. Kaido maybe slightly less troll if it's the draw 4 one, but like Mihawk is troll certainly, right? Because that's 6 or less, or it's 7 or less.
It's 7 or less. It really surprised me, honestly. And then I coped on it for like a day, and I was like, nah, this shit's ass. So
Yeah, I like the Hound Blaze, even if some people might disagree. But I like it specifically because it gives me an edge on BY and Bonnie, which I do anticipate a lot of on Saturday, because I think that a good BY player is terrifying as hell. And then
for sure.
even just like a mediocre Bonnie player can be scary, because if they drop Kid, I'm like, well, I'm Mystic Mind out of the game.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, no, Houndblaze is fucking. I haven't really tested it too much versus BY. But versus Bonnie, it's fucking crack. I just sent you something. I just started doing this today. I played like 6 games today.
Right.
And I'm trying the Blaze instead of the Jozu. I think I might play it this weekend, where it's like basically the list I sent you, but instead of the 2 Jozus, I think I might play Houndblaze this weekend. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna be testing it today and tomorrow.
So I was looking at my physical and paper cards, and I apparently cannot find a third 2K law, so I'm just playing 2. I think I upped, and I think I'm just playing the 1 Jozu, but I think otherwise it's like the same list that I sent you. That I was testing.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I like this.
I
I like this little spreadsheet.
yeah, I do that sort of stuff a lot, just whenever I'm
Mhm.
either like testing a card or just to keep track of like how I'm doing versus different decks. Like typically going into a big event like a regional, I'll typically make like a spreadsheet tracking all my
Yep.
games and tracking if I went first or second, how it
Yep.
went, all that stuff. So if it's not something that you've been doing, it's something I definitely highly recommend.
Right. I did that for actually last night, and I used to do it a lot when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And like
Mm-hmm.
whenever we would prep for like a
Mm-hmm.
YCS or regional, I would go, okay, does the third copy of this card come up more often than it doesn't? So
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you're familiar with this style where you take a card and you swap the rarity of it, so or you play an
Mm-hmm.
alternate
Yeah,
card.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we did exactly that, and that's why I played a lot of two ofs in Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though mathematically it may not be right, it felt better because I'm like, well, I'm not drawing all these like hard once per turn cards, but whatever. But I did that last night as well. I played like 12 or 13 games. I was only able to take notes
Mm-hmm.
on 9 of them, and then I did most of those videos I actually got to record were, or not most of them, maybe half of them were with a friend.
Mm-hmm.
We did paper testing, so we
Mm-hmm.
did like webcam games with BY, Shanks, and the Mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and then we did sim games. And I lost to Shanks, and I won in the other two. And then in paper, I beat him all the time, or in all three rather. Only because he bricked so badly in all the games. So we actually ran it back with BY, and he
Mm-hmm.
still he faced the issue of game one, no babies, game
Mm-hmm.
two, no five costs, and I was like, well, that's the deck.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes you just get unlucky and you I mean, if you're playing a combo deck and you don't see the pieces, sometimes it just falls apart, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess slightly on off topic, but
Mhm.
um as a former Yu-Gi-Oh player, I always like to ask players who either currently play Yu-Gi-Oh or used to play Yu-Gi-Oh like
Mhm.
do you have a favorite format that's ever happened in Yu-Gi-Oh that you've
Yes.
ever played, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, so I play advanced still,
Mhm.
which I have my own opinions on, but that's
Mhm.
way too long of a discussion. Uh, I play Goat from time to time, which I
Mhm.
like Goat, but I don't love it.
Mhm.
But what I do like about Goat is like you can tell the difference between a good Goat player and a bad Goat player like immediately, and their opinions on it.
Mhm.
So I like Goat. I don't hate it. It's not my least favorite. Definitely not my favorite.
Mhm.
I do like Edison. I do like Tengu. So 2010, 2011. But I think if I had to pick a favorite,
Mhm.
I guess it's probably I think I've had the most fun with, like, exactly 2019
Mhm.
TOS because that's when I
Toss.
started.
Mhm.
So even though that format isn't, like, so as some people might say, like, peak Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, a lot of people prefer older
I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
think it's a great time in Yu-Gi-Oh in my opinion,
I
personally.
love it. I
Yeah.
just hate the people who trash talk it because 'cause they're like, "Oh, it's only okay because like we just came out of a firewall like 2018 format," and I'm like, no, toss actually has a lot of merit to it where it's like you get to play a really good grind game with striker
Mhm.
and orchest, and you also have salad is just like one of the best grind decks ever.
Mhm.
But I was a huge thunder player. I didn't get
Yep.
to play it during that format, but
Mhm.
in advance now, like I played with all the thunder cards. So going back, I love playing with like the guard dragons and Colossus. He's so broken. I love him to death.
Such a sick combo deck, dude. Actually is
Ah,
so fun.
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah.
toss 2019. Love that format.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Toss is a great time, so I completely understand.
Hell yeah.
Um, but before we got into watching
Mhm.
the gameplay videos, was there any questions or anything you wanted to go over, whether it be like matchups or any theoretical questions at all?
I think the two biggest
Mm-hmm.
questions that I
Mm-hmm.
came into this session with is when you are playing Dofi in an
Mm-hmm.
event,
Mm-hmm.
not just like a locals, because we
Mm-hmm.
all know like what our friends are playing at locals, but when you're
Yeah.
preparing for a big event,
Mm-hmm.
are you taking the approach of, okay, I'm gonna play a standard list and just run it, or do you like to find text like you and I, or not
Mm-hmm.
you and I rather, but
Mm-hmm.
you gave me Hound Blaze for
Mm-hmm.
example. Do you like this idea of, oh, let's find a spicy tech that like can kind of mix up the format and put someone on the back foot when they see it, they're like, oh shit, like this is weird?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that Dofi is just so standard where it's like you just play it standard and try to play to the best of your ability?
To me, I've played literally every possible fucking blue card that could be played in Dofi. I've tested all of them.
Right.
Like I've played so much like since 8.5 was
Hmm.
legal on the ladder. I have like 900 games on Doflamingo.
Nice.
So I try everything. I wouldn't say I necessarily try to like find the goo.
Hmm.
Um, like I love the idea of finding the goo. The problem with Dofi is it kind of feels like the blue card pool is really awful.
Yeah, it is very it's very limited.
Yeah.
It's very, very limited.
Yeah, so like finding like the actual goo, I would say like the closest thing really was like I guess like Houndblaze. That's the only thing, and like literally the entire time that I've ever felt great about. Like I've literally tried everything. I've tried to cope on like 10 cost bounce Kaido like 100
Yeah.
times.
I
I've
did I did try that card. I have it sitting next to me, and I'm
hmm
so sad I don't get to play with it because I've
hmm
cooked so many players at locals with it because they're like, "What does this card do?" Every time I play it, they pick it up. But then
yeah.
I always end up cutting it afterwards because I always broke on it in game two.
Yep. Yep, exactly. And then so I've tried like everything. For
Mhm.
me, it's really about I just always try to find the best list. Like I just try like infinite different versions of all the different lists. I'm always trying
Mhm.
changing them and just whatever I think is best at the time. It's not really about trying to catch people off guard or anything. Like something that's a little different about like One Piece than Yu-Gi-Oh is the card pool is pretty limited.
Right.
So it's kind of I think it's really difficult, if not impossible, to like really catch people off guard. At least with blue cards, because blue cards are actually just fucking ass, man. They're so bad.
They do suck. I'm not gonna lie.
They're so bad. Like there's like weird things in like purple you can try and tech to catch people off guard. Like you could try
Mhm.
like the 2 cost
Top
counter
knot.
event
Oh no, that's not
or
top knot.
top knot or just
I'm
like
say top knot, dude. I read top knot for the first
mhm,
time like 3 weeks ago, and I was like, "This is a legal card. Hold on, I
yeah.
hate this." And
Yeah,
then
there's
what's the six? There's a six cost version of top knot as well. I think
is there? I'm uncertain.
it's something similar, but I'm blanking on what it's called. But it's a six cost event. I think it like bottoms two things. No
Oh,
way, right?
I have
No, no,
no
no. It
idea.
doesn't. I'm sorry, it KOs two things, but
Oh,
you have
really?
to have Animal King. It's called Hakai Ocean's
Oh,
Fire.
yeah. For Big Mom or
Yeah,
Kaido, yeah.
yeah. Because I think someone played Pudding
hmm
or not Pudding. Was it Pudding? Is
Maybe
Pudding
Pudding,
a Big
probably
Mom?
Pudding. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm trying out this new card tonight. I want to see how it works against you." And this was like right after the structures that come out, and I'm popping off with like double Jinbei, Weevil, Boa, etc. And
hmm
then he hits me back to back turns with Hakai, next turn Hakai, and I'm like, "Wow, 4 guys are dead. I feel
Yeah.
like I lose the game," and I did. Then after that, he goes like Big Mom and shit, and I'm like, "Oh, hell yeah!"
Yeah. Like blue, green, and maybe red to a less extent, they're kind of just bad card pools, so it's kind of hard to find something that like is like kind of unique that can catch your opponents off guard, to be honest. So I just try to find a list that I think makes the most sense and is just the best overall.
Right, yeah. Find something that you're comfortable with.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think the only other question that I had
Mhm.
was it was specifically with the 2K counters. So
Mhm.
before
Mhm.
um when the structures first came out, I played the normal like 12 2Ks where I played the 4 Buggy, 4 Croc, 4 Mihawk.
Okay.
I tried out the bounce law for a
Mhm.
while because I
Mhm.
liked the idea of swinging with him, or sorry, swinging with leader, playing law off the top, and then
Mhm.
potentially ripping a card, and then
Mhm.
you now have a 2K to your hand. So you functionally got to draw a 2K
Yep.
with him. That was why I liked him. But
Mhm.
so many people at my locals were like, "Nah, it's not worth it because he's only a 4K body, so you don't ever get
Mhm.
to swing with him."
Mhm.
And I wanted to know why you like him. Like I know why I like him, but I want to
Yeah.
know if you're thinking
So,
from like a different angle.
yeah, so I loved him a lot in 8.5.
Hmm.
8.5 he was my favorite 2K outside of Buggy. I think he's lost a little bit of value in 9 because
Hmm.
having real bodies is more important due to um, the existence of Blackbeard specifically,
Yep.
and then also Shanks. Like I think
Yep.
having like real bodies versus those decks actually does matter. So for most of 9 I haven't played him, to be honest, but I
Hmm.
do like him still currently at like 2 or 3, and the main reason I like him honestly is I just think having a good mix of 2Ks, because we have so much searchability, we have so much sifting, we can kind of really sculpt what we see a lot of the time.
Right.
um
We could be picky. We can choose to
yeah,
be picky.
I think having the optionality is just really nice,
Right.
like you're gonna like there's so many games where you actually can just kind of pick any of the 4 2Ks to add to your hand at any given point.
Hmm.
So I like him because sometimes you just like don't really have anything great to play. Like your opponent is starving you. So like If you're able to play him like off of a teach from your hand, and then you're getting that 2 extra Dawn to swing with, and then maybe you can also hand rip them. But the main thing is like you're able to pick it back up so they can't swing into it, so they have to swing into your life. So you can like
Mhm.
get that card. Or sometimes just like weird stages at the end of the game, being able to hit it off of your leaders, so that way you're essentially drawing a 2K that comes up a decent amount.
Yep.
Most people really don't like it. Like I know Jonas doesn't like it.
Mhm.
But me personally, I'm a fan. Honestly, I think it comes up in my experience more than
Mhm.
Mihawk or Croc.
Yeah. I
So I
just
like it.
used Crocs on
Hmm.
playability for the first time on Monday in paper
Hmm.
because I had like nothing else to do, and it's like a mid game against I think it was RP Luffy.
Hmm.
I almost said RP Law, and I was like, wait, definitely not cheating. We're
Yeah,
not cheating.
we're
It
not
was
cheating.
RP Luffy, and I'm swinging, and I blind flipped the Croc, and I was like,
Hmm.
oh, this bounces Sengoku back to my hand, play Sengoku,
Hmm.
and then in that moment I realized, oh, Croc is actually kind of nice.
Yeah, Croc is weird because he
It
like
costs
in
an extra
some,
dog.
yeah, the extra, if he didn't cost the extra Dawn, he would be the best 2K easily.
Oh, 100%.
He would be so good. I think Croc is really good in some spots, but you can go like so many games in a row where he's not. I mean,
Yeah,
really,
he's just like a
honestly,
dude.
all of the 2Ks are kind of like that, to be honest. I kind of think the 2Ks are the part of the deck that I think is like in some ways least important. Like I think anything less than 4 buggy is pretty troll, but like
Yeah.
your other 6, 7, 8 2Ks, whatever you choose to have them be, I'm kind of like it's kind of player preference. I don't really think it matters, to be honest.
Yeah, as long as they say 2K on the left side of the card, that's all that matters, really.
Yeah, 2K on the side, and I think I'm pretty convinced that Kaya is not playable, to be honest. I've coped on Kaya so many times. I think there's just
Dude,
too many
Asian
situations.
players love Kaya.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know
do.
what it is, but I see 1 to 2 in almost all of like the pretty solid. I don't know about the top
Hmm.
players list, but like the ones who are doing like X1 at bigger events. I'm
Yeah.
like, why do you just have a random Kaya in your list? That could be anything else.
Yeah, they love Kaya, and I mean I get it. I really wanted Kaya to be good because in the mirror it can be really frustrating when your opponent is just bouncing back your bows and weevils over and over again. And like
Hmm.
as you introduce other bricks like gravity blades or hound blazes, like I understand you want to get those dead cards out of your hand, but like I think her not being a warlord is just too impactful. Like at one point we were just tracking like how often we saw Kaya, and like if like in a stack or something, and if it like
Hmm.
made a difference,
Yeah,
if it was just a 7 warlord, and that just came up like way more often than like her actually filtering your hand. So
exactly. Yeah, because you flip her off the top blind, turn
hmm,
1, and you just want to end it all. You just want to
yeah.
scoop.
Or like you Sengoku and like you need to find a 2K, but then there's just a fucking Kaya, and you're just like, this is,
She's staring at you.
yeah, you're just like, fuck. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, really the 2Ks I think like don't matter much. I mean, there's people like Holden. I know Holden really likes Kaya, or at least he used to. So there's good people who like Kaya, but me personally, I think it's bait.
Yeah, I agree, I think.
Um,
But I think that was it for the prerequisite questions. Otherwise, I think everything else about the list and the game plan is pretty
mhm.
straightforward.
Okay.
I think as we go through the matchups and we're watching the replays, even the
Mhm.
ones where I win, because
Mhm.
unfortunately I got a little lucky and I didn't lose that many.
Yeah,
It-
there.
no,
I'm
dude, I
I'm a
swear,
little
normally I
sad. There's
lose.
only 2 losses here. Like I would have.
That's what I'm saying. Normally I lose so much more, but last night
Uh,
I played against. Here, actually, I'll take out my notes and I'll read to
mhm.
you my matchups from
Yeah.
last night.
Mhm.
I played against. So this is in order. I played
Mhm.
against 3 Bello Betties and I won against all of them. I
Yeah,
think they were all different players too.
that's
And then I
crazy.
played against 2 Purple Luffy's.
Mhm.
Um, the second one
Mhm.
that I've recorded, it's called like P Luffy one or whatever, but it's like so bad because there was a point where I locked in
Mhm.
and then I was like playing, I thought I was playing like pretty decently, and then I like got so ADHD brain where I just lost focus. And then
Mhm.
you could see the game just going to shit like so quickly because he was at a point where he had no cards in hand. He
Mhm.
had a big mom on the board, like a
Mhm.
9 drop,
Yeah,
and I was
night
like,
mom.
okay, I'm just gonna like kill him,
Mhm.
but I couldn't for whatever reason. I think
Mhm.
like I just only had like 1 or 2 swings. So then next turn he had another one to follow up, and his other one was tapped. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna swing into the 9 bomb because I knew I couldn't kill him. And we did that for like 3 turns. So I was like, where's this game going? And then you see me immediately pivoting back to good gameplay and then wrapping up the win. And I was like, what happened? Like I felt like I blacked out. And then after that, I played against Lucci, where I won and I recorded that one, but it also felt bad, where like I feel like I could have played a little cleaner. And then immediately I played against Lucci again. I went second because I lost the die roll and I lost it, but I didn't record that game because I was like mid game. I looked over and I was like, shit, I didn't hit record, and that would have been a good game, even though the game was like kind of bad. Played against Lucci again. I won the die roll, went first, also lost, also didn't record because again.
You're just trolling, bro. You're just trolling.
I really did troll myself. And then the last game that I took notes on was Blackbeard, where I went first and I misplayed 4 times in a row. And I was like, I did start the recording, and I misplayed 4 times, and I was like, I'm embarrassed to put this on the internet. So I stopped recording, and then I somehow won the game.
Oh, okay.
I was so mad at myself because I was like, you know what? That would have been a teachable game too, even though it was so troll. But playing against my friend, though, one of the losses was Shanks, I believe. So that's like the big one for me, is because I played against so many Shank players, and I'm like, what theory am I missing? Like, what fundamentals against Shanks am I like messing up?
Okay, so do you want to start with the Shanks game, or did you have a priority? Okay, yeah, let's start with it. Here, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I think for me it's like Shanks, and then Lucci, and then like the mirror are probably like the big scary matchups.
Yeah. Okay.
And also the most anticipated, because I think people out here really love Shanks for no reason. Also, I drew this exact hand against him in paper, and I said to him, because we were in a Discord call, I was like, dude, I drew the same hand that I drew against you in paper. And I think I kept this hand.
Okay. So we'll definitely go over those 3 for sure. Okay, so when you see this hand, what are you thinking? So you're going second. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going second. My initial thoughts with this hand was, okay, if I'm going second, I get to Perona. If they are awful cards, I can bottom them and potentially run out of buggy to like find something. So I'm looking at the top 8 cards potentially. And if off the Perona it's good and I want to keep it and I reorganize it to something good, then I have 2 buggies as 2Ks and 2 geckos, which I know against Shanks is like not great, because the hope is that I don't have to resolve more than 1 Moria. Like I want to find Jinbeis, but I think this was a close keep for me, especially going second, where I should have been maybe more greedy and tried to find like Jinbei plus XYZ.
Yeah, I agree that this is a really close call. Honestly, I think this is the sort of situation where maybe you can see what your opponent does, and like it looks like they mulliganed, and since they mulligan, their hand could kind of be like anything, and then in which case this is like maybe just good enough. Like, so I would honestly be okay with either situation. I think I'm kind of a little bit greedier of a player, and the deck is so consistent and so gas that whenever it's kind of a 50-50, I kind of go like, YOLO, I'll just like find a good
Mulligan,
enough hand. Yeah, mulligan anyways. So like, I think depending on the day, I could have gone one way or the other. I'm not really upset either way, but I think more often than not, I would mulligan a hand like this, just because like outside of the Perona, we're not like thrilled.
We're not really doing a ton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, we draw wall. That's fine. Okay, so when you see this stack, what are you thinking?
My eyes lit up with so much joy because I saw a double Jinbei, but then I got really sad because I saw the tiger and the pudding, because every time I've resolved pudding, I feel so conflicted with it. But specifically against Shanks, I'm like, I don't love this card because they're not the most card efficient. It feels like resolving pudding against Lucci, where it's like it's either going to help them a lot or it doesn't really do anything, because they have so many awkward hands and they play to the late game anyway. So seeing those 2, I was like, okay, I kind of want to just throw them on the bottom. I think, I don't remember what I did in the game, but right now looking at it, I'm like, I want to draw this Jinbei and then probably leave the other Jinbei on the top and draw into the teach later, and then hopefully get to throw down the buggy and see what the following card after the pudding is. I think was my line of thought now.
I think yeah, this is a weird mixed bag because we found like double Jinbei, and that's like awesome. But at the same time, the gravity's dead. I agree with you. I think pudding is like, I think if you play like 15 games versus Shanks, Pudding will only really be good in like one of them. Like they should just be countering really early, and they should never really have like more than 7 cards in hand. So I think it's like generally pretty bad. Sometimes you catch them slipping and you get it, but it's like literally like 1 in 15. So that's like pretty
Right.
dead. Gravity
Yeah.
Blade, I think, is live slightly more often than Pudding. Like maybe 1 in 10 you can catch them
Right.
with like a Yasa plus Rayleigh or some shit.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, generally, I think my game plan for this would be to draw the Teach and then hit the Jinbei. And I would probably, honestly, um, probably play the Law and pick up my Perona. And then I would probably counter out pretty aggressively to protect my Jinbei, unless
Hmm.
they swing like super crazy.
And then you can Gecko after like
Gecko,
then you can
yeah,
like
grab
Jinbei off
that.
the top, Gecko pick up your counter again.
Yep, Gecko grab it.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I would replay the Perona to kind
Hmm.
of
To dig deeper.
shuffle it around from there. That way
Yep.
I'm not like forced to grab the gravity blade.
Right.
Um,
Also saying hit the Jinbei sounds like a dance move.
it does. You are very right about that. It does actually sound like a dance move. Okay, it looks like you're thinking of draw. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty okay with that.
Yeah, because I
Again,
wasn't
maybe.
sure
Mhm.
how good Teach is in this matchup. Because I've talked with so many, also the third Moria, by the way.
Mhm.
I've talked with many of my friends who are like, yeah, like just play the Teach in every matchup and hope that they have an answer, or pray that they don't have an answer. And I'm
Mhm.
like, that's interesting theory.
I do think that Teach is in fact broken in every single matchup. That said, I don't think with the way we're curving out, it's particularly important.
Hmm. Look at that, we did exactly as I said, or as you said, rather. Play the Law
Well,
bounce the Corona.
yeah, but we didn't have the Jinbei as the next hit, which I think is really important because what that's gonna would allow us to do is if we protect this, we
Hmm.
would have 7 or no, we'd have 6 Dawns, so we can go like 6, 6, 7 leader skill, play Jinbei off the top, play
Hmm.
Moria, grab like the 2K and whatever, like grab the 2K that we countered with, and then we can
Okay.
replay Perona to set ourselves up for next turn.
Okay, I'm in. So we want to play Jinbei off the top because playing a Jinbei for one is cheating.
Yeah, literally cheating, by the way. Actually, like so omega cheating. Uh, okay, so gonna go ahead and counter. Yeah, we don't need 3 Moria.
Right.
They really, that's fine. So I'm guessing here your plan is to play the Teach is what I'm suspecting you're gonna do. I think
Yeah.
this is fine. I think this is worse than hitting the Jinbei again.
Hmm.
To be completely honest, just because I don't think we necessarily need the Teach on board. Oh, also we countered with the Gecko, which is actually really bad because we want to be able to
Yeah.
pick something back up from the buggy, but that's okay. Also, just as a general rule, we shouldn't necessarily be
So
telegraphing.
so the reason why I did this
Mm-hmm.
is because him and I were just talking about I think it was called Red Hawk,
Yeah, Red Hawk. Yep.
and that card was just on my brain. This was
Mm-hmm.
like last night at like 12:30.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that card's on my brain. Not even seeing that he had no Dawn up. So that was
Yeah.
just like that was a tired moment. But of
Yeah.
course, what is it? Is it 2 Dawn or 1 Dawn? I think it's 2.
It for to protect
Red
from
Hawk.
Red Hawk, it's just one.
Yeah, it's 1, but Red Hawk costs 2, right?
Red Hawk costs 2. Yes.
Yeah, so if they have 2 Dawn up in like the mid to late game, that's when you want to do the stupid like
Yep.
put Dawn underneath their,
Yep.
of your guys. Even
Mm-hmm.
though it's telegraphing, it's like now my guy doesn't die to Shank's
Yeah.
ability Red Hawk
Yep. You do it for sure. But in
because
this spot, it's just you're kind of
no, that
like
was troll.
you're losing like very little value by doing this, to be honest. But it is generally bad.
General rule of thumb, yep.
Yeah.
Because I did get hit with a Red Hawk 3 times in one game, and that's when I was like, I need to take a break.
So this is interesting that you decided to swing 6 here.
Hmm.
Do you want to walk me through that at all?
I think my I think my line of thinking was I wanted to go 6 Law, 6 Jinbei, and see how he counters. Because if he
Mm-hmm.
only gives me 2Ks and he's not using like leader ability for whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
then I can play uh like Peach into like Jinbei off top or Perona and then leader ability and still have enough Dawn for it. because I think if you go, oh no, if you still go Perona now, you still have enough for leader ability.
So you're thinking, okay, so in what situation do you think you were playing this Perona this turn?
If he blocked the Jinbei, I think, but I don't think he's ever doing that.
I mean, it's very possible that when you swing 6 here, he goes leader skill block.
Right. But I think that's the only situation, and I think that's what I was hoping for. But he didn't. He just threw counter at it.
So if he leader skills blocks, you're going to play Perona,
Dig for a hit, try to swing into Rayleigh, but that's not good because we want to kill him. We don't want to hit the Rayleigh.
Yeah, we're definitely not playing Perona into swing leader, swing 7 at Rayleigh. That's for sure. We want to avoid that because then we're like letting the Rayleigh be a 6K, absorbing 2 hits, right? So, like, the thing is, there's some situations where maybe we want to bait the Rayleigh block so we can swing into it, but like here he would have 7 cards in hand. Like, there's no way we're ever swinging at the Rayleigh.
Got it.
So, I mean, really, generally, we should be in a situation where like the top of our deck is Jinbei right now, but like disregarding that, I think really what we're supposed to do is we're just supposed to go 6, 7, 7 with Teach, stack Jinbei, play Moria. The Moria feels a lot worse because we countered with the Moria.
Yep. Because I didn't use the buggy or whatever. Okay.
I think just going 7-7 would have been a little bit better. I'm interested to see. Oh.
Yeah, I just forgot that I was there because I'm a troll, and then I Perona.
I think you thought that was. I don't know what you thought that was.
No,
to be honest.
No. Yeah, that was a moment of oops, I'm dumb.
Yeah.
100%.
Because
I told myself, I was like, oh, did I think that was like Perona or not Perona, Boa or something? And then I was like, no, I didn't even see the Boa.
You didn't even see a Boa. Like the only 2 hits you saw were Jinbei. So, but you already, I'm not sure.
That was a tired moment. We call it in the business.
Okay, I mean, to be honest, I think you just lose the game because of what you did this turn. But we'll still try to see how we could win it from this position. When you see this stack, what are you thinking?
So I'm thinking I'm gonna draw Perfume, try to play Boa off the top, and then either draw into this Perona and try to fix it again, or just bottom those 3 and then go from there.
Yeah, I like bottoming these 3, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that's what I ended up doing. I'm praying that I didn't make 3 misplays in a row, but you never know.
Honestly, I'm not even sure how thrilled I am about drawing the Perfume. Like, the man is still at 4 life. I think it's going to be dead in our hand a huge percentage of the time.
Yeah, just drawing the Perona is just way better.
Yeah, I think we'd want to draw the Perona if anything. Especially if we're going to bottom these, it gives us an outlet to play off the top the following turn.
Yeah. Yeah, now he is just going to swing into my dudes, and then he's at, what, 7 Dawns? Yeah, he should play Beckman if he has it, but I forget if he does or doesn't. Yeah, there's the Beckman.
When he swings those, he's playing Beckman.
And then we should remember that Boa is on the top.
Yep. Oh, wait. How much Dawn do we have? Oh, we went second, so we have 7. Okay. Still again.
No, we have 8.
Yeah, we have 8. I still would have liked to see us go 7-7 here.
Interesting. So even regarding Shank's ability, you're thinking.
I mean, he's just gonna
make it 6 2K.
Yeah, because he's gonna leader skill 1K this, and then he's just gonna take this, right? Whereas if we go 7-7, he's gonna leader skill 2K one of them and then take the other one. Like, he only has 5 cards in hand. And honestly, if he wants to leader skill 2K and then 2K 1K, like, sure, like, you can just have it. Like, that's fine. Like, you give me.
Oh, and I kept this on top. What am I doing?
you did keep that on top.
Sick.
I'm not even a fan of really grabbing this LOD, to be honest. I kind of get it. You did it because
Mhm.
like you have nothing else going on for you, but I just think like this is probably just gonna be dead. I will say though, looking over all the treasure cup lists, all the Shanks players are playing like 3 or 4 Lucky Roo now.
Mhm.
Um, which he did just counter with one. So there's like a non-zero chance that his hand is like really bad and he plays a Lucky Roo next turn, but I think it's probably never happening.
Oh yeah, I think I remember where this game goes from here, and it
Mhm.
was not good.
Yeah, I mean you're cooked.
Yeah.
You like threw on that one turn and then
Ex-
even
yeah.
this last turn you didn't necessarily play.
Just keep throwing those two to the bottom on the stack.
So okay, so when you see this stack, what are you thinking?
I'm praying that his hand has no more Silver's Rayleigh, and
Mm-hmm.
that I would like to, in a perfect world,
Mm-hmm.
draw this Weevil, swing 7 with leader, play Jinbei, draw Boa. Yeah, because
Wait,
I want to.
how are you drawing the Weevil? You have 9 Dawn left.
Uh oh, I'm thinking next turn. I'm sorry. Oh,
Okay.
this turn. Sorry.
Yeah,
No,
this
so
turn.
I would play Weevil off the top, draw Jinbei, and then Jinbei Law, and
Mm-hmm.
then bounce like my Gecko back to my hand to pick up like another 2K from trash.
You don't have enough Dawn to both play off top, draw into the Jinbei, play Jinbei Law, and then also replay the Gecko this turn. So you're wanting to play the Gecko next turn?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's what is it's going to be 3 for leader ability.
Mm-hmm.
Play Weevil, draw Jinbei. So then you have 6 left, and then you can just play Jinbei Law, bounce Moria, and then we have 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay, so
that seems bad too.
what do you think Shanks wants to happen to your board?
Shanks wants Shanks wants my board to stay small, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to play Rayleigh or they want to play Shanks and make all
Mm-hmm.
my guys not really be able to attack profitably.
Do you think the Shanks player cares how many cards you have in hand?
Definitely not because they are going to swing 8, they're going to swing 9, they're going to swing 10
So
in the
like
end game.
this is something I see with Yu-Gi-Oh players
Hmm.
a fair bit. I definitely fell into this a lot. Like we think about how like picking up Gecko sounds really nice cuz like you can replay it and you go +1, right? But like the truth is in One Piece like a true +1 actually a lot of the time just doesn't matter. Like you
Hmm.
having this Gecko to grab back like a 2K or whatever
Hmm.
does not help your win condition.
Right.
You could pick up this Gecko and replay it and draw 5 cards off of it and it's not going to help you win the game anymore.
Hmm.
So like the idea that we want to bounce it, I'm not really seeing the vision there, to be honest
Okay.
with you.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps. Like I think you bounce this Gecko and I think the Shanks player is like high-fiving himself. He's like, "Holy shit, my opponent has one less card on board for reasons
Uh,
unbeknownst to me." Like he's thrilled. He's like, wow, I just
mm,
get to win the game.
okay. Because I think what I was thinking, again,
Mm-hmm.
very late at thinking,
Mm-hmm.
but it's
Yeah,
not
of
an
course.
excuse. Not an excuse, but still, that's the reason. Is I was like, I can't swing with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to try to get value off of it again. But if we're going with this thinking of, okay, we just want to, because we're an aggro deck, we
Yep.
want to keep our dudes on the board.
Yep.
So if he doesn't have an answer to it on his turn,
Mm-hmm.
um, which, spoiler alert, I think he does,
Mm-hmm.
uh, or he would have rather, he now the Gecko gets the chance to swing next
Mm-hmm.
turn, which could
Well,
potentially take a card out of hand.
Shanks can't even answer 3 standing guys
Not
at
3
all.
standing guys,
Yeah,
no.
because
No.
we'll have 3, right? Because we're gonna pick up the Jinbei and then play Jinbei Law, and
Yep.
um, just for some clarity's sake, like
Mhm.
first of all, when I ask you like what are you thinking, I don't want you to think at all about like what you were doing in the game.
Right.
I don't care so much about like what actually happens in this game. I'm trying to get a feel of like what you're thinking right now as we're talking when you see this. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter to me like what you did in that moment.
Right. You want to know what I'm thinking when I have 200 milligrams of natural caffeine in my body.
There we go. Exactly. You know, when you're thinking sharp and you have a moment to pause and like really dissect, okay, what do we think is the correct thing to do here?
Right.
Um, and the other thing I want to clarify is like us keeping the gecko on the board doesn't necessarily have to do with us being an aggressive deck. I mean, it kind of technically does.
Mhm.
Um, but that idea of um, like raw pluses not mattering as much in One Piece as it does in like say Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mhm.
I would say that doesn't really apply to just aggro decks like Dofi. Like pretty much all decks, like very few games are decided by like if I just had one more 2K in my hand. Like most games are just decided by like I out tempoed my opponent. I either
Mhm.
was so far ahead that I was able to kill them, or I was ahead enough on board. So like,
Right.
just something to like really keep in mind is like, plus ones are phenomenal. We love plus ones. Weevil is broken. Gecko Moira is broken. We know
Right.
that, but like, um, and again, I have a very small sample size, so I don't know if you're going to fall into this trap, but a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players that I have seen play a lot, they do, and I for sure fell into this trap when I was first starting to play One Piece. They fell
Mhm.
in the trap of like, ooh, if I can just get a +1, that's so crazy. But like,
Right.
it just doesn't matter as much, to be completely honest, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah. The game plan should be more like, how can I establish tempo and
Mm-hmm.
pressure, and then
Mm-hmm.
take cards from my opponent,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be from hand or from board or from life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna swing 8. Okay, we're gonna draw.
Yeah. And then here, I should
Yeah.
have just picked up Perona
Yeah,
and left a
like
gecko on the board
yeah,
100%.
for sure. And like as we discussed, like your opponent is thrilled that there's one less gecko on board. Like
Yep.
he's so hyped about it. He's like, "Oh my god. My opponent is doing me a huge favor. Thank goodness."
I think my friend did out loud say, "Holy shit, why'd you pick that up?"
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he knew that that was troll. He
Yeah,
knew that that was crazy troll.
he was like, "Hold up, why did you do that?"
Yeah.
And I
And
was like,
then
That's a great question."
yeah. And then and like the thing is, especially about picking up the gecko is like, you know, how many more turns do you think you get to live this game?
Uh, I think exactly one, just based off of the big guys he has. Like he has two 8K raw swings
Mm-hmm.
and a 7K. That
Mm-hmm.
alone puts me to one life, unless I
Mm-hmm.
feel like countering out of this seven.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to be at 10 Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
obviously next turn. So he could swing 15, and then he also has a 6. And that's just like what he has now. That's not including if he has like a Rush Shanks or something.
Yeah. I think we probably die next turn, like because we know we have a boa coming up, like there's a world where maybe we can survive one more turn depending
Hmm.
if our life is like really kind to us. But generally, we know based on this board state, and we kind of knew that something like this board state was going to happen. Like, even if he didn't play a Rayleigh, he was going to play another big body here.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to die at best 2 turns from now.
Right.
So like we cannot afford to play this game of like I want to go plus. Like no, you actually just need to swing with the gecko and
Yeah.
kill him. Like
Yeah. So the last couple turns of the game have to be like pressing W against this
yeah.
deck
Yeah,
because when they start playing Ben Beckman and stuff, that's when
mhm.
you have to go press W as fast as possible.
Yeah, like once they get to this game state, like he's just gonna kill you in 2 turns, like
Right.
at best, right? So it's like you have to find a way to kill him before he can kill you. And
Mhm.
to be honest, because we messed up so horribly earlier on, this game was
Mhm.
losable, like was not winnable regardless of if we picked the gecko up or not. But like
Right.
we have to at least, you know, pray that our opponent has like only bricks in hand and like we find some miracle way.
Yeah. But that is a really important skill to
Mhm.
learn
Mhm.
is at what point did I throw the game? And like you're saying, like you can go back multiple turns and go, oh, this is where it kind of fell apart because you
Yeah.
think, oh, what if I did this slightly differently, and then everything changes.
Honestly, you threw the game on the first Perona.
Oh, 100%.
Like you threw the game on the Perona, and then you threw it even harder on Six Dawn, right? Six Dawn, you just like crazy trolled, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, because that's when we
Yeah,
had.
that's when you hit the gravity blade.
Yeah, because we were like flip gravity blade because I just wanted to show it to him because it's so pretty.
It's so pretty, and you wanted him to know you have it. Honestly, I'm not sure if there's a turn we haven't thrown. I think we've thrown every turn of the game so far,
I think so.
which is a good start.
Exactly.
It's a good start.
If this is the worst, it only gets better.
It only gets better. Hey, I've seen worse, brother. I promise you, I have seen worse than this.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the worst games I've actually played, at least on the sim. I know in paper I've trolled very hard because like it's like chess, where if you're playing over the board versus online you could cheese people like so hard, but yeah, over the board, like if both of you don't know what you're doing, it's just messy. It's so bad.
Messy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, are we really just still trying to go plus infinite?
I think I am.
I think you're just.
So dumb.
I think you're just thinking of the mindset of like, hey man, if I reveal Danger Tsuchinoko and then I summon it and I hit my Nessie, like my Nessie gets to add an extra card to hand. Like, wow, that's so crazy. But it's like, I mean, yeah, it's good, but it's not gonna help you win this game.
Yeah, it's not Sayuja where I'm drawing 4 and I'm hopefully drawing a dragon and then I can make LP, Pisty, etc.
Nope. Yeah, you just like you're limited by mana, so it doesn't matter how many cards you have in hand, genuinely. Especially in a context. Oh, and we're swinging.
Oh, why did I swing it back, man?
I think because I mean, you're gonna die next turn, so it's reasonable. You're gonna die, and you're trying to not die.
Yeah, I think I just ended up passing here because I was just like so on tilt and tired because I was like, how did I throw this game so hard?
Yeah. Only every turn.
Only every
Like, yeah, we're even supposed to swing 11 at Beckman, honestly.
Yeah, just put the other 2 underneath there.
Yeah, we have to swing 5 Jinbei there, honestly, because like if we do somehow miracle, like we actually want him to swing at our board.
He did not use leader ability. So
okay.
I was like, wait, did you use leader ability yet?
I missed that.
No.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't swing the Jinbei.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I missed that part. Honestly, you maybe still swing it just because like maybe your opponent like fucking turns off their monitor and they're like, I can't kill him, I should swing at board. Like,
yeah,
you do it just to bait him, honestly.
Yeah, we were also talking from his point of view because he's like he likes Shanks, but it's not like his deck. I was asking him, I was like, did you have the Shanks the whole time? He's like, yeah, I was debating on Shanks and Rayleigh. And I was like, why not Shanks? And he was like, well, because what if you kill it? And I'm like, dog, if I'm killing the Shanks and you run out a second one, the game's fucking over.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I can't beat more than one Shanks.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
And you said you wanted to do Lucci next?
What was the other loss that I had? Oh, Enel, of course. I love losing to Enel. It's my favorite pastime. Yeah, we'll run the Enel loss. I want to show you the losses first so we can go through, again, the worst of the worst plays, and then immediately follow it up with some bad wins. And then go, okay, how did I win? What was the thought process, etc.
So when you see this hand, what are you thinking?
I think in this matchup specifically, I was a little happy to, or rather, I am a little happy to keep this hand because we have Perona, so we have hits of. Am I going second? I'm going first.
You're going
first. So I was like, okay, I can go Perona, and then hopefully hit Jinbei. And if no Jinbei, then we have like Teach, Outs, and other Weevils and Boas and stuff. So those are all good to hit. And then Pudding, I love Pudding against Enel, but it is a skill. You like knowing the Pudding in this matchup is so tough because like sometimes they get really greedy and they get up to 9 cards, and that's like an easy Pudding. And sometimes they are like really respectful of Pudding, so it's like it's kind of tricky, but generally I like this hand.
Yeah, I think versus this deck, I think I'd keep versus most decks. I think I would probably mulligan this, but I think versus an L, especially if you lose the die roll, um, and you're forced to go first, I think the pudding is especially important, because there are worlds where you can, like, on 3 swing leader effect, on 5 swing 9 leader effect, and they just take, and then you pudding them, and it's like, okay, now they have um, like 4 less cards over the course of the game than they should.
Yeah, which is really important because when you get
Really
to those
important.
like last couple of turns where
Yeah.
like they can counter out of like a 7 or an 8 or something or a
Mm-hmm.
9, uh, if they didn't have those cards, then you would win because like they're just cycling the top of their deck. But if they can't do that anymore, then you should win. Um, and I know with Dofi generally we want to go first in like
Mm-hmm.
every single matchup.
Yep.
Are there matchups that we want to go second aside from the mirror, which I do think is correct?
I think the consensus versus BY is second. To be
Oh,
honest,
okay. We
I
do
could,
want to take away their ability to go second. Okay.
yeah. I think there's arguments you could choose first. I have generally picked second, but honestly, recently I've been feeling like maybe first is better. Um, the
Mhm.
mirror, as you said, we want to go second. Um,
Yeah, generally it's just go first.
Anel second.
SW.
Yeah, versus
And
almost everything we want to go first.
and now you want to go second?
Yeah, Anel you want to go second for sure.
Interesting.
Um,
What's the line of thinking with that?
so we just want to be able to play our characters standing. Um,
Oh, so they just can't swing into it.
mhm.
Okay.
Also, Jozu on 6 is pretty nice.
If we find it, yeah.
Yeah, if we find it.
What are
Um,
we bouncing against them aside from like Shirahoshi, the walker?
Gadatsu.
You want
But
to
like,
bounce Gadatsu.
yeah,
Okay.
the main thing, well, because the thing is, if you play, like, they don't have very many turns they can actually play Gadatsu, and the main thing with Jozu isn't even that you're removing something from their board. Like, that's a nice thing. The main thing with Jozu is that it's like just a body that's really tricky for them to remove. Like,
Yeah,
there are
it's a
ways they can
7K.
remove it. Like, they could Yamato it if they're full starving you.
Mhm.
They can, of course, Katakuri it. There's things they can do, but it's like something that is actually tricky for them to remove. That's like the main thing about Josu in this matchup.
Interesting. So because
Um,
Jozu is a tricky body, and we go
mhm,
second because we want to keep dudes standing.
And then
Okay.
there's also some lines where you get into game states where you have successfully managed to keep your board standing,
Mhm.
but they're still healthy enough that you know you can't kill them. So sometimes what you do on like 10 Dawn is you can like swing 2 of your characters for just like 5 or 6, whatever their base power is.
Mhm.
And they have to, like, if let's say you have like 3 or 4 characters on board, whatever, they have to give you like a 1k each time or whatever.
Mhm.
But you don't actually want those characters to be rested. So sometimes what you'll do, this happens more often with Law than with Jozu, because Law is cheaper and also because you play more of them and it's more searchable. But
Right.
then what you can do is you can like play the Law and pick back up your own characters and then replay them. That comes up a lot in this matchup. So that way
And
you can,
specifically this matchup. Okay.
yeah, and specifically this match, it comes up sometimes versus Bonnie. It low key comes up every once in a while versus the mirror too.
Mhm.
Like sometimes you can do some really toxic stuff where you leave your board completely standing.
Yeah.
Um, but I would say it comes up most frequently in this matchup by a pretty fair margin.
Okay. So now go second, keep your board standing.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you swing two guys, play law, bounce them both, play them
Mm-hmm.
both again.
Yeah.
That's kind of great.
Mm-hmm. So Jozu's also good for that. Okay, so
Right.
when you see this stack, what are you thinking?
So we're going first against a Nil, play Perona, and I'm looking at double Boa, two 2Ks, and Sengoku. I would like to probably draw the Sengoku,
Mm-hmm.
and we're going to be at 3 next turn, so we
Mm-hmm.
can like leader ability this Boa, and then look at the next 3, or
Mm-hmm.
sorry, rearrange the two 2Ks and the
Mm-hmm.
Boa
Mm-hmm.
to probably drawing one of the 2Ks, and then on the next turn, maybe playing the Boa off the top again.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to play it off the top if we don't have to because we want to play them standing.
Mm-hmm.
So we could maybe we could like on the 5 Dawn turn just play Weevil and Sengoku,
Mhm.
and like you probably Weevil into a 2K Sengoku look. I think it's like 2 or 3 cards deeper than what we're currently looking at,
Mhm.
and hope to find like Jinbeis and stuff, and then go from there.
Mhm. Yeah, honestly, I think you leveled yourself a little bit. You decided you wanted the Weevil to be standing rather than playing the boa off the top. I think you absolutely probably hit the boa again off of
Interesting.
leader effect. Because on
Okay.
6 Dawn, what they want to do is they want to play Gadatsu. So what's
Mhm.
gonna happen is like on 3, we're going to play the boa.
Mhm.
And then on 4, they're going to swing 9 into our boa, and we can kind of make a decision on if we want to double 2K that or not.
Mhm.
Honestly, I kind of don't even hate the idea of double 2K in it. Um, it's possible we could. We don't have to. I
Mhm.
could see an argument either way. Um, but then on 5, what we can do is we can play the boa again off top, because one of the things is like a Nell is going to starve you
Mhm.
most of the time. So us having ways to go plus. I know last game I said going plus isn't that important, but it's more important in a
Right. Right.
starve context. Um,
Right. Yep. And that's an
uh,
important decision to
mhm,
understand. It's like in Shanks, they're not trying to starve you per se. They're like just controlling your board, and
mhm,
sometimes they will hit your life if they
mhm,
can,
mhm.
but they're not trying to actively starve you. A
Yeah,
Nell is like, yeah, no, we want to starve you because they have effects that plus off of that.
yeah. They want to starve you, and they actually just want the game to go on forever, basically.
Yeah.
Um, But so then playing that bow off the top on 5, what that's
Five.
going to allow us to do is we can look another, technically only 2 cards deeper because we'll still know about the other 2K.
Mhm.
And then based on that, we can either, and also based on how our opponent has been like taking these hits and what they've been playing, we can set up to either leader effect next turn and pudding, or we can bottom deck and play Sengoku to get a fresh new set because we really do need to be finding Jinbei.
Mhm.
Um, Finding Jinbei so that way we can eventually have a turn where we like play everything standing is super important.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we definitely do want to be playing off of the top twice in a row because like the truth is he's just gonna
Mhm.
play Gadatsu on 6
6.
anyways, almost always.
Mhm.
So, and if it's not Gadatsu, it'll be like Nami or fucking Rocket Luffy. Like he'll find
Right.
something to deal with our standing Weevil, even if we choose to leave it standing. So I would just be looking to like play things off the top of my deck, especially because it's a 6K body. He can't just like poke it for free. Like he has to at
Right.
least commit a Dawn before he plays the Gadatsu.
Got it. Okay. So we're looking to cheat a little early
Mm-hmm.
with the boas and then
Mm-hmm.
go from there.
And we definitely want to be drawing the 2K here instead of the Sengoku because his plan is going to be to swing 9 into us on his 4 Dawn turn almost always.
Got it.
And we want at least the option to double 2K.
Mhm.
I think you could argue either one, to be honest, if you should double 2K it or not.
Yeah. And I think here
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you in that. Yeah, I think I even made the decision
Mm-hmm.
where we want to draw the bow. Or no. I'm drawing the
Yeah,
boa.
you're drawing
No,
the bow.
we wanted to leave it where it was.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, we didn't draw the 2K, so now we can't double 2K out of it. And then we're
Mhm.
going to go, I assume, swing 5 and then play Sengoku. Um, and then like the other thing is when we also play the Weevil standing, is since we actually do have the pudding, when we swing 5, we're actively helping him play around it. Whereas if we just played off top, he has to either give us the blocker or take the life, so we're setting up for the pudding better.
Okay.
We did find Jinbei, that's very nice.
Yep. Let me just take them because we like to hit the Jinbei.
Even here, like if we are gonna play standing, I think there's like somewhat of an argument that we should have gone Sengoku and then played Boa, because again, especially like because we're going into 7 specifically, it sets us up to swing 7 leader effect and then potentially putting him. Like here he's playing the Kuzan and also we let him counter for free last turn. So putting him on 7 is probably not actually a real play because he's only going to be at 7 cards even if he takes.
Right.
Uh, but like if he had that one extra card and he went up to 8, maybe it could have been possible. Yeah, we can discard the pudding.
Okay.
Um, Here, I don't think there's too much to talk about. I'm assuming you're just gonna go ahead and go Jinbei Boa.
I don't remember.
Ooh, I really, really, really do not like this swing.
Mhm.
I would have. I mean, the thing is, like, we're just giving him something to swing into. He's going into his 7 dawn turn.
So just
Maybe
leave it standing.
I think so. Maybe it's okay. Oh, the Houndblaze low-key could be big. And we found the
That's.
crocodile to bounce the Shiro. This is nice. This
Oh,
is
did I
nice.
bounce the Shirahoshi with
I sure hope you do.
crocodile?
Yeah, you do.
I no. I,
Oh no.
this is why we watch back
Mm-hmm.
our replays
Mm-hmm.
very important.
Honestly, actually, in the context of us having pudding, maybe swinging this Weevil's a little better, actually. Oh, especially if we're drawing the Houndblaze. Holy shit, this is actually maybe cooking. Damn, dude,
Oh, also,
I can't believe we didn't bounce the Shirahoshi. That's so
right.
sad.
So pause really quick. So
Mm-hmm.
here there's a moment in
Mm-hmm.
here that I think 100% lost me the game.
Mm-hmm.
But I at this point, or at that point rather, I was on tilt
Mm-hmm.
a little bit because like naturally playing a no puts me on tilt, and I need to like work past that at
Mm-hmm.
100% as a player.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who will eventually watch this,
Mm-hmm.
don't just stop getting on tilt in bad matchups.
Yeah.
Like it's 100% something that will make you better at this game. Is
Mm-hmm.
like just play, just
Yep.
play. Like
Yep.
you have to look at it very analytically.
Mm-hmm.
But at some point, I know I'm swinging, forgetting that Viola is a blocker.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that moment specifically from this
Mm-hmm.
game, and I had to reread Viola probably like 10 times. Where I was like, no fucking way, this card's a blocker.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah,
Oh man, if we actually bounce this Shirahoshi, like we're actually in such a nutty spot.
yeah, I would have been way happier.
Yeah. Our opponent would have 8 cards in hand.
Throw
We
down pudding,
Yeah. Throw down pudding,
Blaze
we
the
get
Viola.
Houndblaze, and then we get to take everything from them. We actually would be in like such a nuts spot. We'd
Yeah,
actually be in such a crazy spot.
yeah. But I think this is the turn that I probably threw once I make a fucking decision. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I think I was rereading Houndblaze because I think I had used it previously
Hmm.
and I misclicked with it. Actually, it might have been this game where I
You
misclicked
have
with
to
it.
click
You
on
have
your
to
own
click on the
character
guy.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it this game where I misclicked? I forget.
We'll see. Oh wow, he actually just took. He's a mad lad. I can't believe he
He is.
just took a 5. That was pretty
Yeah.
crazy actually.
Okay, I do remember to click. Cool.
Oh, why are we even going 9 here?
That's a. I think he had already taken. So
Yeah,
my
he took
thinking
1,
was
so he's at 1 life. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to put him at 0 and
Mm-hmm.
just pray he doesn't have an ace or something to heal him in hand. But I
Mm-hmm.
know that's a terrible line of thinking. Like I think that every time I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, put him at 0 and then like hope that they can't heal when they
Yeah.
can always heal. They have like
Yeah.
12 cards that say
Yeah.
heal.
Mm-hmm. Even if that's like our plan, like
Mhm.
9 is not the first swing. Like
No, it should have been like 5, 5, 8, 9 or 5, 7, 10.
mm, I probably would have gone 6, 7,
6, 7, 9.
6, 7, 9. Yeah, you go 6, you go 7. Like imagine he doesn't have the viola, because like
Mm-hmm.
you know, he just surely he
He
just
shouldn't.
it's not
That
real.
should.
Yeah, it's just not
It should be
real,
on the
right?
bottom. It should be on the
Yeah.
bottom of his deck right now.
Yeah. So we had what? We had 5 dawns, so we go 6. He probably gives us a 2k. We
Yep.
swing 7. He maybe actually blocks, but that's okay. We can Hound Blaze and then swing 7.
Right.
And then if he counters out of the 7,
Mhm.
then we do we ever swing at the Kuzan? Nah, we probably still have to put him to 0. It does feel really bad though, because he is going to get to swing 5 and then we counter, and then he swings 6 and then we counter. and then he swings 8, and we take, and then he plays Yamato. He pops, and then we have 3 swings into 1 life, and he has
3. He'll have like 5 in hand or 4 in hand.
no. He would have less than that because he countered the
Okay, he's
7.
countering out of the Jinbei.
Yeah.
So he would have
So he
3.
counters out of the 6, counters out of the 7. So he used 3
Just
of these
3
cards.
Yep.
So he has 2. He takes 1. He's back up to 3. He draws for turn. He's at 4. He plays a card. So he has 3 in hand. We untap with 2 characters and leader.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible we get through there, honestly. And that's like best case scenario for him. Like that's like some percentage of the time we actually like literally kill him.
Yeah, because like just infinite bricks.
Yeah. Like he could just not have it, right? Or another situation is I don't even necessarily fully understand why we're going 7-6, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. That's also another huge thing I have to remember in this game is obviously coming from Yu-Gi-Oh! My attacks don't matter because we're not playing with cores anymore.
Yeah, but still everyone still
in this
does
game,
it.
swinging 5, 6, 7 does matter because if they only have a certain number of counter and you can bait it out with a 5 and a 6, then your 7 goes through, and then you're living large.
Yep.
So sequencing of attacks definitely matters.
Yeah, we gotta let this go. He's gonna play either Ace or Yamato this turn. It doesn't really matter which one, to be honest. He's playing Yamato.
Yep.
Yeah, so he just because he had that that Viola because we didn't croc the previous turn. He just has like several more cards in hand than he should. So why are you deciding to go 7-7-10?
That's another good question. I think in my mind it was if I go 7 and he takes, and if I go 7 again, I think it's still unlikely that he's giving me a 2K and a 1K because he didn't do it before. And then if he does counter out of no, because I need both to go through. So it should be 8, because then it's less likely for him to have 2 2Ks versus a 2K and a 1K. Okay.
Yeah, like he's
7, 8, 9.
He's almost always gonna counter out of this, to be honest with you. And then like, what are we doing with our last 5 Dawn?
Right. I think he does counter out of this one, or maybe he took it. I think regardless though. No. He definitely countered out of it, and then I like swung into the kata, and then I just die in the grind game.
Yeah, I do think very weirdly we're supposed to swing 10 at kata here. Oh, we blind into the law. That's kind of cute.
That was fun.
Yeah, I'm actually super. Yeah, I mean, that actually ended up pretty good for us, all things considered.
Yep. Yeah, I think I just took most of these.
Yeah, I mean, you have to determine how many turns you think you'll survive. So you have what, 7 life? So you take. That puts you down to 4. And then he has 6 bodies. So I think you're supposed to counter this first one and then take the next 2.
I think I did, yeah. At least I hope I did. It'd be like tuck away the pudding, and then just take the next 3.
Oh yeah, he has 3 swings. Yeah, you're right. Okay, well you found a 2K, so you got a little lucky. Yep.
Wait, why didn't I trigger that?
Yeah, honestly, you should have countered. You should have triggered it for sure. Is there a boa?
I think that was a moment. There was, yeah. And I took the boa. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually we're recovering not too bad. Yep, and then we always want.
But then
you're swinging a
Kuzan,
right?
Well, the Kuzan should have been on the bottom of the deck because we should have Raging Tigered it.
True, but it's not, so we should have swung into it.
Yeah.
Because there it's just like way too easy for him to counter out, and then now even if we don't die this turn, we like guaranteed die next turn. So now I'm
only gonna have 3 swings into his 4.
Yep.
Or his 4 like a life, I guess, basically. Okay. So big teachable moments are go second, don't troll, and when we're in the early game, we want to throw out the free bodies and just have him swing into them. And then when he Gadatsus is when we want to start throwing out all the standing guys. Like after that 6 dawn turn is we want to get to a point of like 3 to 5 standing very quickly.
Yeah, we eventually want to get into a situation where we have a big swing turn where we can play like 4+ bodies standing. If you can get there, it's like pretty good.
Yeah. And then when you're going for lethal against a Nell, if they have like on average 5 to 7 cards or whatever, and they're at 1 or 2 life left, and you have your 5 standing characters and leader, of course, you have 6 swings, and you have to get 4 through. What is like the good numbers that I should be looking for? Is it just like 7s mostly across the board and like wrap up with 9s?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want an escalator towards the end where like the last swing or maybe last 2 swings are a little bit bigger. It's honestly it's pretty tough because Anel like is pretty unique in that sense that he like gets to heal and yada yada, and also there's so many triggers that just can fuck you. Yeah, I mean, just generally good numbers, 7s, and then try and be a little bit larger at the end. There's some situations it didn't come up this game at all. I mean, like it kind of did, like when we swung at the category, where sometimes like you swing at life and then like they go down to like super low cards in hand if you like poke with like 5s and 6, and then what you do is you like take the board instead. That sometimes comes up.
I think I remember you bringing that up in a previous video where you were like, yeah, you can like whittle down the Shanks hand, and then you can swing like 14 into 10 drop Shanks.
Yeah.
And then you win off the back of that.
Yeah, it can happen. It's definitely not plan A, but sometimes that sort of stuff comes up versus decks like Anel, Shanks. Very rarely like Purple Luffy or RP Luffy. Like these decks that don't get to generate a lot of cards, sometimes they just like run out of cards if they over counter. So
right.
Sometimes you can take advantage of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel less frustrated against Anel now. You just have to have a better game plan and not.
Yeah, and I do have, I think, like three different videos of me playing versus Nell on the channel. All of which are like the most recent one is me covering my loss in the Treasure Cup versus Nell, and I think that one less so. But
I think I watched that one today.
Oh hell yeah! But the other two are like kind of not really guides, but like kind of guides where I talk a lot about the things that I'm looking for. I really don't think the matchup is that bad. Like I think my tournament record in the last, I guess since like the Dallas regional, I think my tournament record versus NL in Treasure Cups and regionals is like literally like 9-2 or 9-3 or something like that. Like I think for sure NL players are favored, but I don't think it's that bad. Like
right,
it's very
probably like 40-60 towards them.
Yeah, probably around there. That sounds about right.
Yeah, but you also have to play against a really good NL player. They get a little lucky with triggers.
Yeah, the triggers is honestly
have a better game plan.
Yeah, the triggers is the big thing that can really swing it, to be honest. Like sometimes they just hit mad triggers and you're just like, fuck, I guess I lose.
You're like, that is the game.
That do be the game.
Right. I think the next two that I would prioritize are Lucci and the Mirror. Because I think, and then like before we head out, like I want to do like a brief, like just maybe we don't have to like watch the replay. We could like just talk about P Luffy and BY. But I think Lucci and the Mirror are probably going to come up a lot on Saturday, at least in the deeper rounds, especially if I get that far.
Which one do you want to do first?
I guess we'll do Lucci first, because the Mirror we could talk about for like 6,000 years.
Yeah, the Mirror's very complex.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this was a snap mulligan, so we don't really have to talk about it.
Yeah, that's a pretty clean one, and this hand was fucking nuts.
Yeah, this hand's good.
Yeah.
Wow,
and we ripped into it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very happy with this hand, and we find the Hound Blaze again.
Yeah. So what are you looking
to? Oh, it goes to the bottom because it's Sengoku. Oh, it's like almost infinitely Weevil because we already have 2 2Ks, so we don't need another 2K. Unfortunately, we can't grab the Hound Blaze, whatever. There are 2 Weevils and a Boa. We already have a Boa, so I think it's just like pretty cleanly a Weevil.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with the Weevil. I think having ways to like reload your hand is pretty important.
Right.
When you see this stack, what are you thinking?
So we're going into Lucci. They didn't do Spandam turn 1 or anything. So
Mm-hmm.
with Perona, I'm probably grabbing. I would like to draw into Teach just to have one.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, we don't really need the 2Ks, so they can kind of stay at the bottom. And then I'm probably going to try to draw. Actually, no, we could like draw into a 2K off of like the Weevil, even though we already have two. I don't hate that idea. But I think a big thing is probably I want to play Boa off the top when I play Boa on turn on Don 6. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like it should be I think Teach and then whatever I want to draw off of Weevil next turn. So either a 2K or Perona, and then on the 6th on turn, Boa, and then play Boa off the top
Mm-hmm.
with leader effect. I think that's my line of thinking here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I think that's fine. I guess like okay, how do you think Lucci wants this game to go? Like what do you think is the best result for Lucci over the next two turns? So his 3 dawn turn and then his let's even include your 4 dawn turn, what he wants you to
Mhm.
do on 4 and then what the single best thing he can do on 5.
Mhm. So on his 3 on turn,
Mhm.
he just wants to like play a Brook,
Mhm.
attack with Lucci,
Mhm.
mill some shit, and then Brook pop
Mhm.
one of my little dorks.
Yep.
Probably the Sengoku, I think, is the correct one to pop. I don't know
Mhm.
from his perspective.
Mhm.
And then on my 4 on turn, he does not want to see a Jinbei
Mhm.
because then he has to deal with 2 pops
Mhm.
unless he is playing Soap Sheep and then can Soap Sheep. Or no, you can't Soap Sheep and Lucci in the same turn. So that's like his 6th on turn.
Mhm.
Or can
No,
no
you
Soap
can
Sheep is
you can
2
soap sheep and Lucci.
on a not on 4 don.
On 5 you can.
On 5, oh, is Soap Sheep only 1?
Which soap sheep is only 1 dawn.
Oh, that's broken. I hate that card.
It's really
Even though it's so bad, it's so bad, but
it's
it's
not
like so
great.
annoying.
It's not great.
So on his 5 turn, that's probably what he wants to do
Mhm.
if they play Soap Sheep.
Mhm.
So he doesn't want to see a Jinbei, but if he does and he plays Soap Sheep, then he's like living like Larry, I guess.
Yeah, so I agree with you. He wants to play Brook on 3.
Yep.
Soap sheep Lucci really really strong. Um and I think if you like swing 5, he
Mhm.
can like pretty comfortably counter out of that if he really wants to. A fair percentage of the time they'll still take, to be honest, but like
Yeah,
if we're
because they're a
talking
5 leader too.
yeah, they're 5 life leaders. So most of the time he'll still take, but if he wants to, it's pretty cheap and easy for him to counter out of it.
Mhm.
It's not unreasonable. It's not unheard of. Like I've seen them do it. And then I think if we like commit this Jinbei on 4 standing
Mhm.
and then he soap sheeps us, I think we're like really sad, to be honest. I think we're like Omega cooked.
Mhm.
Um and I think like your game plan of like I'm gonna go Jinbei Weevil and then Boa, I think we should really maybe be prioritizing our high roll more, like trying our best to find the high roll. Like one of the advantages of Dofi is like we genuinely get to go through so much of our deck that if we just keep digging, like we're gonna find a second Jinbei.
Mhm.
So me personally, what I would be looking to do is I would put Perona as the first card. I'd put Boa as the second card. I
Mhm.
would swing on 4. I would swing 8 into his leader. It will end up being 9 because Boa will give us a Dawn.
Yep.
Well, actually, I'll swing 7 and it will end up being an 8. And I'll just bottom deck those 3. And then next turn, I would play, and then after that, I would replay the Perona and keep digging, just trying to find the nuts. And if I don't
Interesting.
find the nuts, I would even just bottom deck it again, and then I'll go Jinbei Boa. Cause like if what happens is you play one body on 4, and then
Mhm.
like he removes it, whatever. Like he probably like brooks it or whatever. Who cares really?
Yeah.
And then on 6, you go Jinbei Boa find another Jinbei. That Jinbei plays you Weevil. Your Lucia's opponent is sick because they
Yeah.
can't
'Cause
play
now
Jack.
you went from one body
Hmm.
to four.
You went, yeah. You just exploded 4 bodies in one turn, and like the thing is, Lucci can pretty reasonably remove 2 bodies in a turn. If
Mhm.
you just go 2 bodies every turn, like he's pretty okay with that. He's like, I can deal with you having 2 bodies a turn. What's really hard is if you explode 4 at once. Like he's just like super sick, especially because if you do it on your 6th on turn, what
Mhm.
do you think the Lucci wants to do on 7?
On 7,
Mm-hmm.
on average, they're
Mm-hmm.
just like playing Jack, right?
Yeah, they.
And if like they have combos of
Mm-hmm.
cards,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can do some like cool shit. But like usually it's just I want to establish Jack.
Yeah, they want to go into their 7th on turn with some level of health and you not having a crazy board, so that way they
Mhm.
can pretty safely play Jack. And if we're just able to go 4 characters at once, including a standing boa, which is also really irrelevant because if they are playing that Jack on curve, we get
Mhm.
the free block and every single card matters.
Mhm.
Um, they're just going to, they just can't play the Jack. Like they just actually, it's too slow. They just literally can't do it. And then what that does is it forces them to have those combos of cards, which obviously is harder to do. And not only is it harder to do, it's not ideally what they want to do. Like even if they
Yeah.
have those combos of cards, they'd still rather play Jack because Jack is gives them so much value over the course of the game.
Yeah, because it's
Um,
card selection and in
mhm.
combo with their leader ability, they're always killing one of my 4 drops, like every turn.
Guaranteed. Yeah, guaranteed. So, because of that, I would be trying to play more to the high roll. Like even you saying like you wanted to draw the Teach, I kind of think Teach is like pretty awful in this matchup, to be honest. Like
Okay.
this is a matchup where Lucci's win condition is suffocating you and stealing resources from you. He's gonna
Mhm.
swing into your rested board, which is gonna steal cards out of your hand, and then
Mhm.
he's going to steal cards on your board by KOing them.
Right.
And then what he's going to do is he's just going to keep doing that until you're out of everything. And then he has like 2 geckos, a Jack, and a Lucci on board, and he's going to kill you all at once.
Right.
So
Okay.
because of that, I'm really looking to explode all at one turn. And I'm also trying to save cards. Like every single card in your hand is going to be so important so that you can protect your board.
Mhm.
Um, so Teach is just too expensive. Like you play Teach and like the Teach gets removed super easily, and then also what it does is it plays something from your hand. Whereas like things like Perona and Boa, they play it off the top of your deck, which
Right.
means you have an extra card in hand.
Okay. So
Does,
in this matchup, we're looking to overwhelm them early and often,
Mhm.
so that they can't just go, okay, I'm gonna remove 2 of your bodies, and the next turn you play 2 more bodies, and then they do it again. We want to
Yep.
go 3, 4 bodies as early as we can.
If possible, yeah, that's absolutely what we want to do. We
Okay.
want to we want to explode. We want to make sure that we have cards in hand to protect our board.
Mhm.
Um, and we're looking to really maximize our chances of high rolling them because like if we see average and the Lucci sees average, especially if they won the die roll, it
Mhm.
feels pretty hard to win.
Mhm.
Um, and like the other thing is we have to play a lot tighter than they do. Like Lucci players are allowed to play like pretty ignorant. They can kind of make misplays and
Mhm.
like if they just see their pieces, they can win.
Right.
Um, whereas like I think the Dofi player has to try a lot harder. Um, so we just kind of have to like really be looking for the things that help us win, to be
Mhm.
honest.
Okay. So because we're playing on the back foot against Lucci because they have so much removal,
Mm-hmm.
we are looking to literally explode everywhere on the board
Mm-hmm.
as early as possible to make it so that they can't do their unfair things against us. We want to
Yeah.
be unfair so they can't be unfair.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Basically, yeah. We don't want to let them we want to put them in uncomfortable positions.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the Jinbei Weevil is like pretty decent. like Jinbei Weevil is always strong, but like I think at the end of the day, I don't think um
Oh,
stacking the deck like the way that you were talking about, like
mhm.
I don't think it pressures them quite enough. I
Yeah,
don't think we're playing to our high roll enough.
yeah. It's too passive.
I think a little bit, yeah. Yeah, so he is gonna brook, he's gonna do that. Um and I mean I think you've seen good enough cards where even if we do Jinbei Weevil into Boa, I think a lot of the time we can still get there if our
Mhm.
opponent doesn't see exactly what they want. Um, okay, good. I was gonna say we have to swing 5 first.
Yeah.
Because some lists do play finger guns, so we can't get punished.
Yep.
Um, so just yeah, I think we can still win, even doing it the way you are doing it, and we know that
Right.
you do eventually win this game. I just think that like it could be slightly optimized.
Yeah, because if you play better in the early game where we're favored,
Mm-hmm.
we're more likely to put the pressure on them and like end the game
Mm-hmm.
sooner because they thrive in the end game while we
Mm-hmm.
thrive in the early game.
Yep.
Because we're playing to our outs of, oh, we get to do all the unfair stuff in the beginning, they do all the unfair stuff at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I hate Hina. That card's so annoying.
Yeah, he does honestly pretty good. Pretty good.
This is where I should not have played Verona because I should remember that Bow is on
Oh.
the top. Yep.
Oh God, yeah. Wow, you win this game? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
That's
so.
crazy that you trolled so hard and you're still gonna find a way to win this game. You actually trolled so crazy.
Yeah, because remember what I said, where I was like, yeah, I play against dumb people on the ladder. Somehow,
Hmm.
sometimes people are dumber than me. It's possible.
Hey, we take those.
Yeah. So
Uh, so is your plan to leave the brook here?
no, I think here I wanted to take cards out of his hand because I was like, surely he doesn't take this one. Surely he gives me a couple of cards, and then I can like dunk into the brook after the fact, which sounds horrible.
Okay, so like what do you plan to swing into the brook?
It should just be the Jinbei, right?
Yeah, yeah, I mean like what number?
Oh, it should just be 6, no? But I
Okay.
guess in this position now it should be 7 because that's what I have left.
Okay, so like what do you think you should do with this Boadon?
Oh, I see, I see. I should put a rested Dawn underneath a Jinbei.
Okay, so now you have one Dawn here and you have
Yep,
two Dawn left. What do you want to do with that last two
that
Dawn?
Dawn. Oh, I see. It's all coming together. I think the last two Dawn likely is just gonna play the Teach because we drew the Teach.
Uh-huh.
But otherwise, like it should have just gone underneath leader or something.
Okay, so you want to play Teach. So next turn, what are you doing?
So if we end up playing Teach, we are looking at the top three here. We probably want to because I think I forget what else I have in trash. Cause I could also think about playing Gecko as well, but I'm pretty sure it should just be like Teach, play Boa off top to
You
swing.
you have Weevil and Buggy in trash, if that changes anything. Those are the
Oh,
only two cards in your trash. Oh, Sengoku as well, but that's not relevant.
yeah. We could go like Teach, put Weevil or not Weevil. Sorry, we could put Moria on top, pick up Weevil, and like have Weevil for next turn, or like play Weevil immediately next turn. But I don't know.
Okay, so we're going to 8 Dawn. You want to play Gecko, pick up the Weevil from your graveyard, and then
And
Teach
just
effect
play it.
restack the Weevil and then play it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Okay.
sounds okay. But
It's
again,
yeah.
that's a situation that we were talking about before, where it's
Mhm.
like, don't try to just go for like what is plus.
Mhm. This
Go
is a
for like
match
playing
this
the board.
yeah, this is a matchup where going plus is pretty important. You kind of do need geckos and weevils.
Hmm.
Um this is a matchup where going plus is a little bit more important because you will be protecting your board more.
Hmm.
Like for most of the game, he's not gonna have like huge swings at your board. He's gonna be swinging fives and six because he's forced to play on curve.
Mhm.
So just having like more 1Ks, more 2Ks is pretty relevant. Um, I think what you're thinking is fine.
Mhm.
Um, I don't hate it. I think it's pretty reasonable, honestly. I think my first instinct is to, I agree, put the Dawn under the Jinbei and then use these two Dawn, put them on Perona, swing at the
See,
Brook.
that was another line I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
about, but I'm like, no way, that's right. Because like he just counters out of the Perona swing.
That's fine.
But then, do you follow it up with another Jinbei swing?
Yeah, I swing the 6 at the Jinbei. I hate
Okay.
swinging more than 6 at a Brook, but I think
Okay.
5s and 6s are good. I think 5 is ideal, but since we have the Boa, it's like it's fine to swing 6.
Mhm.
Um,
'Cause it's a free Dawn.
yeah, like whether we swing like I think playing the teach is fine. I think a fair percentage of the time, honestly, it gets removed. Like I think it
Yeah.
actually just like always gets removed, which is why I lean more towards the Perona play. But like
Mhm.
if we want to convince ourselves it won't get removed, then I think it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Um,
Um,
Another thing with the with playing the teach though is
mhm,
like it forces them to kill it, even though it does make it easier for them, I
mhm,
guess, if I play that, because it gives them an easy target. So then like they get to Dawn minus or not Dawn minus cost reduce the Jinbei,
mhm.
and then they can go like Lucci kill the Teach and the Jinbei, and then they can just swing into the Boa because it's already tapped. Okay,
Well,
so don't even give them a good target.
they'll swing into the Jinbei because it will also be
Oh,
rested.
The Jinbei will also be
Yeah,
summoned.
they'll swing into the Jinbei and then they'll KO the Boa and the Teach. Or they'll KO the Jinbei and the Boa. It could go either way. It kind of depends
Yeah,
on their hand, honestly.
depending on the reducers they have.
Honestly,
But yeah.
it's super possible they could KO all three, is the fucked up part.
Exactly. Lucci's a stupid ass deck. Hey,
It's,
I did the right thing. Hell
yeah,
yeah. I'm proud of myself.
there we go.
But then where do I go from here? No, don't. Oh,
I
don't
think
put
it's
it on.
fine.
Oh yes, I did it. I did it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't put a Dawn underneath the Jinbei. I was gonna piss myself if I
Oh,
put a
if you
Dawn underneath the
swing
Jinbei.
more.
Yeah, and then I just
Oh,
played the Teach. Yeah,
okay.
so I should have put the
I
Dawn
think
underneath the Perona to swing
especially
into the
after
Brook.
he counters for the Brook, it's like pretty clear that it's super important to him. So I
Mhm.
think I would have, yeah, put two more Dawn under Peruna and Swan at it again. Try to get
Right.
another card.
Yeah.
I mean,
And there's never a world where like you play Teach stack, put the Dawn under Perona, just like half the Teach on the board, right? That's just always bad.
okay, there's never a world where you use the teach to then
But
put on
yeah,
the Peruna.
yeah,
Um,
that's just always not good, right? Unless like we didn't already swing with leader, but in this case we did.
hmm. I think, yeah, I don't think I would do it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would do it. I was like,
Okay,
maybe. Yeah, I don't think so.
right.
I don't think we try to go neg there.
Yeah,
Oh,
him also
five Dawn
reducing.
remaining? What is he
Yeah, him
doing, bro?
reducing. So if you remember what I said, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, my opponents are sometimes dumber than me. I was very confused here.
What is he doing?
Yeah, like Kaku, he had one Dawn open, swings with the Brook, pops the boa, and I just give him a 2K that I know is gonna pick up off Moria later or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah, I'm not in a position to judge any of my opponents on whether or not they're troll, but sometimes I think they're troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself an expert by any stretch, but sometimes they do some weird shit.
I will say, like, we know that there's like a gecko off the top of our deck. So I
Yep,
feel like we could have just played the
not
gecko off.
played. Yeah, not played the gecko from hand
Yeah.
to save a card.
Yeah. Swinging this 5 is nice, though, into the brook. I don't mind that
Okay.
necessarily. I do think that's quite nice.
Yeah, but that should have been on the last turn, 100%.
Yeah.
And then okay, and
Okay.
then yeah, he takes this.
This is a pretty decent spot for us. I mean, it really depends on if he can full combo us. If he can full combo us, we're cooked, but he just simply
Uh
doesn't have it.
so if I remember,
Oh, his trash is so bad.
yeah, exactly. So if I remember this game right, he bottomed a gecko. So in
Mhm.
my head, the whole game, I was like, okay, there's a gecko on the bottom, there's a gecko now in the trash, and I think at some point he trashes another gecko.
Mhm.
So then I think I was like, oh yeah, he's never gonna resolve the gecko.
Mhm.
and then he like tanks here for a while. Also, Ice Age on my 4 drops always feels so funny, but I know it's like all they can do with it.
Yeah, they have to, obviously. Yeah, I agree though. It does feel like overkill, but they just have to.
Yeah. Did he mill the other gecko yet? No, because I know at some point he did. He also milled, I think, 2 or 3 jacks. So I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna get jacked this game either.
It's too late in the game for him to jack you anyways. Like, he has to do it
Yeah,
exactly on 7. Anytime after that, like, it's too troll. Wow, it's
I
actually
love
crazy
getting
that you
jacked.
dodged both Rebecca and Lucci and Moria so far this game. Like, the only
Yeah,
3 cards in his deck that, I mean, I guess Brook matters a lot, but like 3 of the
I think
4
he found,
most important cards you
yeah,
dodged.
yeah. I think he found 3 Brooks.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, which like for him, he's like, ah, this sucks, and for me, I'm like, this is still annoying.
It's annoying, but like he hasn't found Rebecca, which is the most important thing. Like that's the most important card for them, I would say.
Yeah, that card, dude. That card is so troll. Like
Yeah,
I,
that card is ignorant.
I don't think I've ever read a more ignorant card since Bay and Bounce Law.
Yeah.
I think those cards are busted. So here, what is your line of thinking with like a game plan? Because like they have so many medium-sized bodies and they're at 2 life with like a okay-ish amount of cards in hand. Like, is this just a turn to press W and then like establish uh Corona Gecko, play a guy off the top, and then like swing 7 twice? So it's
And
like swing
we
7
don't
Phoenix
have
Gecko,
access to
Gecko.
law, right? There's no law engrave.
I don't think so.
No,
No.
there's not. Huh.
Yeah.
This is actually a super weird turn. I'm kind of surprised you don't die next turn, to be honest with you.
That is what I said to myself while playing this game. I was shocked I won.
I'm actually like super shocked you don't die next turn. Uh, this is how do you not die next turn? I feel like you should actually just be dying. Like, I mean, maybe he just swings like hella shit numbers, maybe, or maybe he doesn't have like an Ice Age or Tempest Kick, and you play Boa off of the Gecko. That's like the only thing that makes sense to me is he doesn't have a cost reduction to pair to remove.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think the only thing you can do, unfortunately, is like go Gecko, grab back Boa.
And then try to hit bounce law off the top.
Yeah. If you do manage to hit Bounce Law off the top of your deck, you're not necessarily guaranteed dead. Oh, nice.
There he is.
Okay.
Speaking of the devil, we love this guy.
Yeah, we do.
We love bounce law.
We always want to bounce the Hina here, I think.
I think that's what I did.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why this game ended up taking so long is
Mm-hmm.
because I think he ends up going like Hina Lucci like
Mm-hmm.
3 times or some shit. Or 2 times.
Mm.
It might have been a different game, but I know someone did that to me yesterday, and I was like on tilt.
I
I
wonder
was
if
like,
he
Hina,
just
Hina
didn't
Lucci 3
have
times.
the counter to protect the Hina. Because if he did,
Mm-hmm.
and he also had the Ice Age in hand, he should have just protected it and killed us.
So he's swinging to board. He's
Yeah.
going.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah,
he
yeah. He's
decides
going
to
into
go for
board,
game. Interesting.
which I thought that was weird from him
Yeah.
because he could go 7-7, some other absurd number with Lucci, and like that's almost always game. Ah, here's the soap sheet. Here's the Lucci.
No, it for sure wasn't game. Like look at even our hand. Like
Mm-hmm. So we
if he
have
goes
2 2 case,
7
3 1
and
case.
we
Yep.
take and then he swings 5 with Brook, sure it takes a card out of our hand and then he has 5 down remaining, so he goes 10, we actually survive it regardless of what our life is.
Yeah, because we have 2-2-1.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So um I don't think he can go for game after the Hina dies. If the Hina survived, I think he can pretty comfortably go for game, but
Mm-hmm.
um here, like, we actually just survive even if our life is a brick, so it's a good thing for him he didn't go for it.
that's another important skill that I don't think I fully developed is like when do I anticipate them going for game versus
Mm.
when they shouldn't be as
Mm-hmm.
well. Because like in those moments, like in that moment that we just talked about, it's
Mm-hmm.
like how do I know if that's like correct play from them or not, and when I should start getting like excited and going like, oh shit, they're misplaying, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and here's the Lucci.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to identify like when it makes sense for them. So you have to like the first thing that players generally ask themselves when going for a game is like, do I have to? Right? And
Right.
like he
Right.
has he's decided for whatever reason he doesn't have to,
Hmm.
which tells me he has counter in hand or he has another removal spell to pair with this last brook.
Yep. Which I
Uh
don't think he does.
so surely he just has counter, otherwise he's trolling.
Yeah.
What are you thinking here?
So I'm thinking here in the moment right now, I'm thinking like, okay, I need to
Mm-hmm.
kill him because I can't attack his board because he just has infinite guys
Mm-hmm.
that will absolutely kill me, and I don't have the counter to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to swing some absurd number with Gecko. Probably could I go 9, 11?
Mm-hmm.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Yeah. You could, yeah. I agree that you need to go for Gim here. I think you can kind of decide if you want to go 9-11 or 10-10. Like,
Hmm.
based on the fact that he did this play, I think there is a small amount of merit to tell yourself, like, I mean, you should look at his trash and see how many 2Ks he's gone through. But there
Hmm.
is some argument to um, it's possible when he does this play instead of going for game, he knows he can counter out of a 9,
Hmm.
and therefore he knows that you are more likely to go for 9-11 rather than 10-10.
10, 10, yeah.
Therefore, he cannot go for game and then like survive the 9-11.
Hmm.
Like you can kind of level yourself into that and choose to go 10-10, but I think generally I'd go 9-11 here.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wow,
right. He
that's
did just scoop.
okay. So you won. I mean, if he went for game, you still won. So I can't say you won because your opponent inted, but it is pretty. I mean, he did literally int. I mean, I think you actually just won because her opponent didn't find Rebecca, Gecko, or Lucci until the last turn. Like,
Yeah,
um,
like they had such a terrible draw.
yeah, I think generally you played this game better than you played the last two for sure. I think it could have been
That's
like some improvements, but I don't think you played this atrociously for the most part. Like I think you actually played pretty reasonable.
okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you played.
I think the big turns were those like first two turns, or
Mm-hmm.
the turn 2, turn 3, I think, where
Yeah.
we were talking about swinging like 4 into the brook and then 6, and
Mm-hmm.
then we want to just like high roll with this Perona,
Yeah.
or not the Perona, sorry, with the or yes, with the Perona actually,
Yeah.
yeah, with the Boa bottom the 3 and then
Yep.
Perona look at the next 5 because
Yeah.
we're digging for the double Jinbei.
Yeah. I think
Okay,
like I think you played pretty reasonably because even like the play that I said I would do, I don't even think most players would do that play to be honest.
what swinging
Uh,
the 4 into the brook?
Not that one. The hit the boa, bottom everything, then replay Perona. I think most players, like even good players, I think would probably do kind of what you did, which is like the Jinbei Weevil. I just think we have a little bit more equity, honestly, if we do it the way that I was saying.
Hmm.
Um, I
Yeah,
th-
there's more room for uh getting out early, which is what
yeah.
we want in this
Hmm.
matchup.
Yeah.
And it doesn't put us behind either. Like it's not like we're gambling and then like if
Hmm.
we whiff we lose. It's like okay, we're just like we have like slightly less good cards, I guess, but like we still have all the good cards. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And then yeah, the one turn with the teach. I don't think you played that bad. I think like that was perfectly reasonable to play the teach there.
Hmm.
I think you can make an argument for either one, honestly. Either
Right.
swinging the 4 or uh the teach. I think either one was fine. Okay,
Okay.
let's
Cool.
go into the mirror, which I is always the most fun to watch for me. So
This will be an interesting one to watch because this was not a ranked one. I think this was one of the ones against my friend.
okay.
And he is not an expert
Mm-hmm.
at the mirror at all. I
Mm-hmm.
think he just likes the deck.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause he's one of those players where he's like, yeah, I just like want to build every deck, so like I know what they all do, and I also like this game too much, and I'm like, okay, I got you. Um, yeah, he won the die roll. He chose to go second. What the hell is this hand? I think this hand's not awful, but it's probably a mulligan
Oh,
for the
this
mirror
is a
match.
snap mulligan for sure. If
Yeah.
I don't see Perona or Teach, I'm just always mulliganing. Like you find either Teach, Perona, or Buggy. I think it's like 78% of the time, and that doesn't even count the fact that you can find Sengoku, which can find you Teach. It also doesn't count the fact that you can draw Teach for your 3 Dawn turn. So like if
Mhm.
I don't see any of those cards and the rest of the hand isn't like godly, I
Yeah.
just always snap mulligan. Like you saw Buggy, but like Buggy is shit. So like
Yeah, but it was a buggy not paired with like a Jinbei plus something else. You know, like if there
yeah,
was a Jinbei in that hand, you could consider keeping it.
honestly, I am not even entirely convinced that I would keep,
Really?
even if one of the other cards were Jim. I hate Buggy, dude. That dude misses every time.
That's fair. Oh, because I guess you don't want to play him on turn one unless like you absolutely have to.
I mean, yeah, I like if you don't have Perona or Teach, you can play Buggy on turn 1. But like, if let's say the pudding was like a Jinbei, right? Like
Mhm.
you're forced to play the Buggy on 1, and I just feel like Buggy actually just always misses, and I feel like games where you miss with the Buggy in the mirror,
Yeah,
I feel like you're actually just so cooked.
yeah. I think you had a video from like
Mm-hmm.
a month or like a
Mm-hmm.
few weeks ago or something.
Mm-hmm.
It was an Asian finals where it was like the dude went buggy.
Yeah.
He was playing against Blackbeard. He went buggy. He revealed Jozu, something else, and another Jozu.
Yeah. Jozu
And you were
pudding
like,
Jozu.
damn, he was like, you were like, damn, he just loses here on the spot. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if he loses here, but like he's definitely pissed off.
Oh, he lost, bro. He lost on the spot and he knew it. He knew he lost on the spot. He was so
Yeah.
sick. He
Why
was
can I
so
not put
sick.
cards on the bottom with Buggy?
Yeah.
Please,
Yeah,
please,
for
Bandai,
sure.
let me put him on the bottom.
It's so sad. Okay.
Oh, what did I take off this
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about
Sengoku?
that actually.
Yeah, because we mulliganed. We
Mhm.
immediately played Sengoku going first.
Mhm.
I think I think here I'm supposed to take Perona, or so not Perona, Boa,
Mhm.
because then you get to look 3 cards deeper for Jinbei.
Okay, let's say that the Boa finds Jinbei and 2 other random cards that are not good 7 warlords. What is your play after that?
Oh, that's fair to think about because we only have fucking puddings in hand.
Yeah, we don't have anything.
So so we want to take. I guess it should be Weevil then.
It's for sure Weevil. Even honestly, even if we had another good warlord to pair with the Jinbei,
Hmm.
the ideal 3 Dawn turn is Weevil. Like I I always play Weevil on 3. Even if I have a Jinbei into Weevil, I just play Weevil on 3. Even if like Weevil is the number one thing that I want to put on my board on 3 Dawn in the mirror.
Because it's you play teach stack Weevil play Weevil right
Yeah.
with the mirror effect.
Honestly,
Okay.
with your hand,
Hmm.
I'm actually wondering if we were supposed to Perona instead of Sengoku. I think Sengoku's
Because we want
fine.
to prioritize using the Dofi ability next turn.
Yeah, which I mean we can do with the Sengoku because of the teach, but um I'm not 100% sure if I would have started with Perona or Sengoku here. Maybe like the thing is our hand has no good 7 warlords in it. So the
Hmm.
thing is, the Perona feels almost a little bit better because our deck has 100% of our good warlords in it. So like
Hmm.
there's a world where we played this Sengoku and it finds like actually just 5 busted 7 warlords.
Hmm.
Um and then we're kind of sad because like we played Sengoku and we only get to add one of them. And then
Hmm.
like because the rest of our hand is like pudding and we've committed to the teach, if we only get one good 7 warlord and then next turn we don't draw another 7 warlord, we're like, wow, this really stinks. So I
Hmm.
actually think with your hand I would have Perona'd rather than Sengoku, to be honest.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
think
because we
like
want to set up. We want to set up.
yeah, I think like if these puddings were like real cards,
Right.
we Sengoku and we find something, but like with the context of like these are not good cards, and if we Sengoku and we get one Warlord and then like we don't find any more good Warlords for our 5 Dawn turn, we're like
Mhm.
pretty sad. I think I probably just would have played Perona, especially because like very often there's going to be like multiple, maybe even several good hits off of the Perona, which is like what we're looking for.
Right. And then if we did play Corona here and we're looking
Mm-hmm.
at these 5,
Mm-hmm.
it should be like we want to draw probably Weevil and then teach Weevil, draw into a 2K, and then play Boa off the top the following turn off leader ability.
No,
No, okay.
no. We just want to take the free card. We just
Mhm.
want to go 2K,
Mhm.
Weevil, 2K, Gravity Blade, hit Boa, and just roll it like that. And
Okay.
just like
Okay.
take the free cards and like, because like the thing is like the mirror is so back and forth, and it's kind of the matchup that comes down the most to who has the most resources.
Mhm.
Um, and I just think that like playing this teach here, just like if we started with Perona, actually
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
doesn't matter because like we just don't have like teach is really good when you have a bunch of cards to pair with it, and we
Right.
just don't
We
have the
do
card.
not.
We just literally don't have the cards to pair with it. Is the thing.
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, so it would just be 2K Weevil, 2K Gravity Blade, Boa.
Mhm.
Our opponent almost always on their 4 Dawn turn is going to swing 8 at our Weevil, and this would be a situation where I would counter for the Weevil with a 2K 1K.
Mhm.
Because we know we're going to have extra Dawn, and we can, like, our opponent's always going to take the first 7. We have 5 Dawn, and we can go 8-8, swinging the
Weevil.
the the Weevil and the Boa, or we go 7-8 play Sengoku probably. It kind of depends on what the Boa finds, to be honest with you. Depends on if
Mhm.
we play the Sengoku on 5 or not.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so that's how I would have played this out. I
Mhm.
think going for the Sengoku, we absolutely never grab the Boa here. Absolutely
Yeah.
not. Like anytime my opponent plays Boa on 3, I'm like, thank you, brother.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like so thrilled they played Boa because it
Interesting.
means
Because
they just
you want the Weevil to replace itself
yeah,
in this
yeah,
matchup. Okay.
yeah. Like playing Boa sideways doesn't do
Does
anything.
not feel good.
It
Playing
doesn't
it
do
from
anything.
hand off of a Jinbei off the top though feels kind of nice.
Yeah, for sure. Feels crazy.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
He's also a little, I don't want to say slower, but like
mhm.
he's less confident, I think,
Yeah.
with Dofi. So he is going to take a while on like his piranhas and shit.
I mean, we're testing, so like
Exactly. Yeah. So
we
it's
we should
fine.
take time. We should absolutely take time. Okay. Yep. Oh wow. So Jinbei was just like the next card. It was like the 6th card.
Yep.
That's
It
pretty
was it
nice.
was really right there.
Oh no 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 no! It's because we sent Goku. It's because we sent Goku.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So then here we want
Mhm.
to draw into the Gecko,
Yeah.
play Jinbei off the top,
Mhm.
play Gecko, but then we don't have anything to bring back. Or no, he's gonna probably kill this Boa,
He's gonna swing
so that
into
we
the
get
boat.
to
Oh wow. It's kind of annoying actually.
yeah, because then we don't have anything to
I
get
think
back off
he's
the Gecko.
actually, unironically, probably supposed to swing into the boa there. Also, I don't know if he drew this Jinbei. I don't know what his stack was, obviously, but like,
Yep.
ideally, he should, from his perspective, he should be swinging into this boa for 8. Um, I mean, maybe he just literally didn't have the option. I don't know, but he shouldn't be swinging 6 at our life there.
Hmm.
Um,
Interesting. Okay.
okay, we'll go 7. And then we'll go 8. That seems pretty reasonable. I'm assuming you're going to go 7, 8. Maybe you can go. Yeah, I would probably just go 7, 8. What's the third card? I don't remember what it was. I know there's Jinbei, Gecko,
Buggy.
Buggy. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
not
not
great.
not great. Okay. So honestly, I wouldn't even mind a 7/7 and then playing out the Perona just because our everything we have going for us right now is really bad. But we
Hmm.
assume our opponent's gonna interact with our board one way or another. They're gonna like KO it by swinging over it, or they're gonna bounce it. Either way, that will give us stuff to play. So we don't
Hmm.
necessarily have to play the Perona because like if they swing into it, we gecko grab it back and then we teach stack and then that gives us stuff to play. Or they
Yeah.
bounce it and then like obviously we literally have stuff to play.
Hmm.
Um
I do like your
uh,
analogy of whoever's turn it is who's winning the mirror.
yeah, it does feel like that a huge percentage of the time, to be honest. I will say your opponent is smoking crack. I have no idea what he's doing. He's actually just clicking buttons. I think he sees the golden master duel button and he clicks it. I don't know how we go Jinbei Boa on 4 and then on 6 we go Perona Teach. Like I don't even know what we're doing. But that's okay. That's
Yeah,
okay.
that's what we're here for. We're here to learn.
Yeah. Yep, and I think we did have to counter out of that 5. So, but we're chill with this because we're just gonna Gecko grab back. Oh, we're not gonna do
Oh.
that. All right. I mean, hey, you're just better. You're just better. You found a really good stack, so you're just better.
Okay,
Um,
but yeah, we're supposed to go Moria, get back Jinbei,
yeah.
and
Okay. So
then
how much
no,
Dawn
where are
do
we
we
going
have?
from
Are we
there?
on? Are we on 8?
3, 6, 7.
Are we on 7? Yeah, we are on 7. Okay.
Yeah, because we went first.
Okay. We're on 7. Um. Yeah, honestly, we just take back the board here. I think we just like
Yeah.
we go like Jinbei grab Boa, and we just we
Oh,
swing it.
Gecko grabbed Boa from yard. Okay.
Yeah, from yard is what I would do, and then I just swing at the board. Like he only has 3 cards in hand, so he can't really
Right.
protect the board. We get to go like 7, and then
Hmm.
8, and then we get to set up the top of our deck for next turn.
Hmm.
Um, and like he's just like pretty starved of resources, and like if we do this interaction where we both keep swinging at each other's board, as long as he doesn't find like a bunch of weevils and ways to plus, like we'll eventually win it.
Hmm.
Um, with the Perona though,
Hmm.
it looks like you're thinking you want to hit the Jinbei.
Yeah, hit the
Uh,
Jinbei, Gecko, and then add back the Boa. I
mhm,
think is what I was initially going for, or
mhm.
add back the other Jinbei because I have a Boa on the top.
Okay, so as we look at this after playing the Perona, what do you want to do right now for the rest of the turn? Explain to me exactly what you're thinking we want to do for the rest of the turn after playing
So
that.
we have so we have 6 Dawn. So I want to go probably. I would like to go swing because so that would put me to 3 Dawn left. So we could go swing 7 with leader into Jinbei,
Hmm.
and then play Jinbei off the top, play the Moria from hand over top of either the Perona or the Sengoku, add back another Jinbei, and then we have 3 Dawn left
Hmm.
because we used 2 more and then leader ability, so that's 3. So we
Hmm.
have 3 left. And then we're going to take the other 3 and probably swing 6 or 7 with Gecko. No. Or do we just put? Oh no, no, no. We put all 8, or sorry,
Hmm.
all 3 rather, under the Gecko and swing 8 into, I guess the Boa and leave
Hmm.
the Weevil on the board.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it should be swing 7 into Jinbei, play Jinbei from top,
Hmm.
play Gecko, add back Jinbei, and then put the other 3 under Gecko, and then Gecko swing 8 into the Boa. Okay, I like that.
Okay, what are you playing the Gecko over?
The other 1 drop, right?
Sengoku or Piranha?
Probably because we're gonna play the Jinbei over one of them, and then the Gecko over the other one. Oh
Okay.
no, because we have an open slot right now. Oh, so then we play it over top of the Perona because we want to keep Sengoku on the board in case we ever find bounce fall and we get to bounce it to the hand.
I agree.
Yeah.
Something to note though is you said you wanted to swing over Boa. I actually think we want to swing over Weevil.
You
And the
want to leave a
reason
blocker on the
over
board. Okay.
yeah, so the reason for that is that like Boa is not actually a blocker. He's never going to leave her standing. Like if he
Hmm.
can swing with her, he's going to swing with her.
Okay.
Um but the thing is like if our opponent has Weevil on board or if he has Teach on board,
Hmm.
you want to bounce Boa. If he doesn't have Teach on board, you want to bounce Weevil. Because if you have Teach, Weevil becomes one Dawn. I played a six body that replaced itself.
Yeah.
Whereas with Teach, Boa is just a one Dawn six body that like gave you a rested Dawn. Like that's not that big of a deal. Um, but if you don't have Teach, obviously playing hard casting the Boa is um, significantly better than hard casting the Weevil. So as a general rule, this isn't always true, but
Hmm.
generally, we want to be bouncing their Boas when they have Teach, and we want to be bouncing their Weevils when they don't. So if
Hmm.
that's the case, and we know he has Teach, we know a Jozu is coming up. There's some worlds where we play that Jozu. We'd rather be bouncing the Boa. So
Hmm.
I would just go ahead and swing over the Weevil instead. I think
Got it.
swinging 5-8 is or 7-8 is very
Hmm.
reasonable. Um, something that's gonna sound a little crazy is I think something that we can actually do is I think there's some world where we can actually poke we can poke 5 here, and
Hmm.
if he takes like okay cool, now we just swing like mega big at the
Boa.
Boa or Weevil. But
Hmm.
most of the time, your opponent's gonna like counter, and then what you do
And
is
then
you
you
poke 5 again, and then they're sick because they're like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna go down to like literally one card in
one
hand."
card. Okay.
So like they'll just let this die, and then like we swing 7 at one of the 6K bodies, and again they don't want to go down to like literally one card in
Zero
hand.
cards or one card. Yeah.
So it's like I actually think there's a real argument that it's better to just be poking fives. Like our opponent is actually so starved that like these 5K swings are like super
Huge.
annoying to them.
Okay.
Um,
So low resources, just poke. No reason to overcommit on Dawn.
yeah, like I think the 7-8 is perfectly fine, and like
Hmm.
maybe you can do that, but like what is the worst thing that can happen to us even if we like poke 5, poke
Poke
5,
five.
poke 7, he counters all 3, he goes down to one card in his hand, like or he goes down to 0 cards, he draws for turn, he has one card, like
Yep.
he's what is he even doing? Like we're at 4 life, like we don't care that he kept his whole board. The second
Hmm.
he turns it sideways, we just take it back anyways.
Right. Okay.
And then like what's gonna happen is he's gonna like swing at our life, and we're gonna take, and then we're gonna be like a bunch of cards in hand, and then we're gonna take his board, and then the end result to all of that is like we're gonna have a board in hand, and like maybe we're pretty low, like maybe we're at 2 life, but
Hmm.
like he's gonna have no board and no cards in hand, and then the turn after that will just kill him.
Yeah, he just dies. Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think I prefer the 5-5-7, but there's definitely an argument for 7-8. Like I don't think it's
Mhm.
bad. Like it's probably very reasonable.
Yeah, it ends
Um,
up being a similar result. It's just like,
mhm.
yeah, it depends on it. Maybe if he played better, maybe he has more cards, and that could be the argument to
Yeah,
going
yeah.
7-8.
That's a lot of the time he'll have way more cards in his hand, to be honest.
Okay.
Um, so you want this Jinbei to be the first card, and what did you say you wanted the second card to be?
I think it should be. Oh, maybe it should be the Jozu,
Mm-hmm.
but it's tough because if we don't end up clearing his board the next turn, we could just like Raging Tiger it. But if he's swinging next turn, which he should be, then we get to swing back into it. So maybe we don't even need the Tiger. So then we just get to establish the Jozu. So it should be like Jinbei, Jozu, and then like the last three. I don't know if they matter because I don't know if we're even going to get that far because hopefully the game should just be over.
Yeah, I think it should be Jinbei, Jozu, Boa.
Okay.
And the reason for that is like next turn we're going into 9 Dawn,
Yep.
and we know we're guaranteed gonna have a 1 drop still on board. It should be the Sengoku because I agree with you. We should play over this Perona. And then
Yep.
on 9 Dawn, we assume he'll have like maybe one standing character that he played that turn. we'll
Mhm.
just Jozu bounce the standing character, we'll poke a bunch at his board, and then we'll leader effect play out the boa from the top. And like
Mhm.
we're not even going to use teach effect or anything in most situations.
Yeah,
Um,
he's
and
just a
then
dude.
yeah, like the teach will come up more the following turn after we Sengoku.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't remember how the game ends in terms of like how we get there, but I know at some point he tigers me and I tiger him back. I think that's how it happens,
Okay.
which I
Yeah, and
thought
we
was funny because he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm so sick. I tiger you," and I'm like, "Ah, dude, I'm so sick. I'm gonna tiger you back and then kill you."
yeah, and like the 555 thing that I talked about
Mhm.
earlier is even better in the context of us having like Blade, because like
Mhm.
imagine like he fights so hard to keep his board alive,
Yep.
and then next turn like we do a combination of swinging into it plus Blade, and like he just loses it anyways, right? And it's
Yeah,
just like the
and then he has
worst.
no cards.
He has actually no cards anywhere in his hand and his board. Like he just has his 3 life and he's just looking over the table. Yeah, and look, especially when he gives us that 2K. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. He gives us this 2K and we just swing 5 again. Oh, we don't want to
yeah.
put our teach sideways, please. Oh, do you do it? Oh, you're a sicko.
I'm sick.
You're sick, dude.
I found the
You
line.
found it, dude. You're sick. Oh, you did end up doing Boa instead of the Jinbei, which honestly I don't think is awful. I think
Oh,
that's
I
fine.
think I think the reason why I ended up doing the bow instead of
Mm-hmm.
the Jinbei because I wanted to swing 8 into 6
Mm-hmm.
versus 7
Yeah,
into 6.
that's fine.
So
I think it was
that
perfectly
was
fine.
yeah, and then here's the blade, and then he just gives me a free card.
Yeah, he gives you
Also, I
two.
explained I
Mm-hmm.
explained this to him, and I'm gonna try
Mm-hmm.
to phrase it exactly how I phrased it last night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as a 5 life leader,
Mm-hmm.
so frequently the
Mm-hmm.
first 1 to 2 life cards are just like your second hand
Yeah, I agree.
because it's like they're just free. Because like when we have 3 life, they have to swing 4 times, and that's
Yep.
so difficult to do.
Yep.
And I blade, and I did put the teach on the bottom, which did come up later, which was hilarious. Because he was like, "Wait, where's my teach?" And I'm like, "It's on the bottom of your deck, bro."
Yes, it is. Uh, a little odd to play our law there, to be honest. I
Hmm.
would have preferred the gecko
The
just to
gecko.
pick
Yep.
up a card because like the
Yeah.
law is so instrumental. But honestly, we're actually like so unbelievably ahead that it just actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um, I think you probably did it because you like somehow convinced yourself like, oh, Gecko draws 1, but this like draws 2.
No, I swear I'm not Yu-Gi-Oh! Pilled. I swear.
Like
I
that's
swear.
kind of how I interpret you doing that.
Mhm.
But I think that that was just like for sure wrong because like we would love to have this law in our hand so we can bounce this Weevil this turn.
Right. Okay.
Because like now we don't have any guaranteed way to remove this Weevil. Um, and
Aside
like
from like if he doesn't swing with it, then it just sits there. But if he
that's
does swing
true.
with it, then I
Oh
think
yeah, yeah.
maybe he's
He's
swing with
gonna.
it.
I forgot he didn't play that this turn. Yeah, you're right. He's just gonna swing with it. Are we sure he didn't play that this turn? I'm pretty sure he played it this turn. Yeah, he. The
Okay.
sim is just does this weird where
The
sometimes
color
it.
thing.
Yeah, the color thing. So I'm pretty sure he played this turn.
Yeah.
Um, so like now we don't have any guaranteed way to remove it, and then we
Hmm.
felt like we had to counter out of this 10 because we're like, if we're at 1 and he has this Weevil and we have no way to remove it, like there's weird worlds where we get gamed when we're
Hmm.
like we were like literally plus infinite, and by like using this law we like gave ourselves an avenue to lose, whereas like if we didn't use this law we played the gecko, we grabbed like literally anything from our trash, it didn't even matter, like maybe a 2K, who cares.
Hmm.
And then like this game state happens, we're only at 1 life, we're able to take, but like we just bounce the Weevil and we
And then
bounce
we're
the
fine.
boa and we just don't really care about anything that our opponent did last turn, and like we
Hmm.
put them back to 1, so we're at 1 and they're at 1,
Hmm.
but we're the one with the teach and the bodies on board, and they're the one with nothing on board. So we just
Right.
win.
Right. Right.
And we
Okay.
also have like literally like 6 more cards in our hand than they do, or something crazy like that.
Yeah. I think here I go pick up Boa, or did I just like play Piranha? Yeah, just play Piranha.
Yeah.
I yeeted the Houndblaze to the middle so fast. I was like, don't give me that card.
Yeah. And you didn't even like choose to draw the Jozu in this turn when you set up your stack earlier, so like especially because we left like playing the law made a little bit more sense in the context of us drawing the Jozu because we could just pick the law back up. I mean, I still think it was worse than playing the Gecko, honestly, but at least like that would have gave us a way to pick back up our own law and still have a double bounce this turn.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I undervalue picking up Law if I'm just like playing him from my hand
mhm,
so often. Like I have to remember, like he can just pick himself up if I
yeah,
play him from my hand, not just like, oh, I want to play him from the top and then pick him up because he's sideways. I can just like play him from my hand as well.
yes, for sure. For it's super important in the mirror.
Yeah,
You having access to law is just like crazy broken.
yeah,
Yeah, we should eventually win this game, but it's kind of crazy because it's not like
already over.
yeah, it's not already over. It's the crazy part.
Yeah,
Like we should have our opponent in a situation where they're just checkmated, and instead it's just like you probably always lose, but it's not like absolutely unequivocally guaranteed. But we're
yeah.
for sure still pretty ahead here.
I think he also messes up here. But I forget what he does. Um, I think I
So
just counted.
7-5 is interesting technology.
Yeah, because then I just
Okay.
took it and I was like, oh, I just win now.
Yeah, you mathematically have game, so.
Oh, hi, Pupper.
I don't know what she's barking for. Hey, what is going on? There we go. All right,
Yep,
easy win.
we got there. We got there. Like you said, it could have been more optimized, 100%.
For sure. There's a bunch of different things we could have done slightly different.
Yeah,
But the mirror is also like the most fucking complex thing, so.
yeah. You have to perform like some amount of cold fusion.
Yeah, the mirror's tough for sure.
Yes.
Okay, so we can go over the one last thing that you said you wanted
Mhm.
us to go over, and then we'll start wrapping it up.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you don't want to go over a video and then talk, I was thinking we
Mm-hmm.
could just talk about like the game plan against like
Mm-hmm.
P and BY. But if you think it's better to like watch one video and then afterwards just talk about the other one, I'm also cool with that.
I normally would like us to watch it and then go over it, and I'm
Mhm.
normally not stingy on time.
Right,
But
right, right.
today is Valentine's Day, so I do have to start getting ready for my date with my
For
girlfriend.
tomorrow. For
Uh,
tomorrow, yeah.
yeah, for tomorrow.
Yep.
So um, I gotta like get her flowers and shit. Whatever. Anyways, doesn't
Naturally.
matter.
Hey, you said you're in what, like California? They're gonna be like $100.
No, I'm in Seattle.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're just above.
Yeah, I'm West Coast, but I'm Seattle.
Okay,
Um,
that's good. That's good.
yes, but so let's
They're
just talk
ninety
theory.
dollars.
Yeah, only 90, thank God. So what did you want to talk about specifically?
Uh, P Luffy and BY, I think were the other two matchups that I believe will be really
Mm-hmm.
popular. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that if I don't play damn near fucking perfectly into them and they
Mm-hmm.
play really well and they kind of high roll a little bit, that they can
Mm-hmm.
be rough matchups.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'd rather watch the P Luffy video
Mm-hmm.
because I think that one was not against my friend. That was like just a ranked ladder one.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically the number two video. I don't if we put the Dofi versus P Luffy bad video on the internet, I would cry. I think.
Okay, yeah. We'll just kind of skip over this a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah,
So you're going second. That's
yep.
unfortunate. This
Yep.
hand
Lost
is
that roll.
actually broken.
Yep,
We want to play teach on two. Yep.
yep.
Um,
Yeah, I was like so fucking happy with the wall because I was like, oh, I'm gonna bounce this Zoro infinite times.
yep. Okay, so we wanna be first thing we want to be using teach effect to stack the Jinbei here.
Okay, on four. Okay.
On four, yeah, because like on seven, they're just gonna swing five, so like you
Hmm.
can counter out of it pretty reasonably, and like when you swing just five here, like your Luffy opponent is like very very thrilled to only give you one card there. Whereas if you swing seven, like he actually has to give you 2 cards every time. So,
Okay. So you
um,
go teach, play Jinbei off top, play Law or Weevil or whatever.
honestly, I would literally play my second teach, use effects, give Dawn. I'd swing 8, play Jinbei, Jinbei play Law, Law bounce the teach.
The second teach.
Yeah.
So I think I thought about that line in this game, and I was like, no, surely playing 2 teaches doesn't sound right.
Oh my god, there's no way we're ever going hand neg like this.
Yeah,
That's
this is worse. This is worse.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason for us to be giving up this card.
Yep.
Um basically what we did was we decided that like we would rather have this life in our hand
Hmm.
rather than like this
But,
teach. Because if this Jinbei was sideways, he swings into it, we have to give up the teach, but like we
hmm
get to keep the life and we get to have this Weevil in our hand.
hmm
Um, whereas this way, like this Weevil is here, and then like this teach is here.
Yep.
And also the
Okay.
law is not there. I mean, we got lucky that he doesn't have Sangoro, so us picking back up our law means that like we get to bounce this again. But like most
Hmm.
of the time, this should just be a Sangoro, and then like us having the law in hand doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, because we can't bounce Sangoro because
Yep.
he's the 5 cost.
Yep. This stack, I probably just would have put to the bottom, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything in there we actually care about.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's fine though, because I think what you're planning to do is to play the Weevil, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
Oh, why did we put the Dawn there?
Yep.
I guess
Yeah.
I
Just
guess it doesn't matter because you're just gonna put the Teach Dawn on the Jinbei, surely.
yeah.
As long as you realize that it doesn't actually matter the order.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, you swing 7, you swing 7. Yeah, you are bouncing the law. So yeah, if you are gonna bounce the law, I think um or if you are gonna play law rather than the Weevil, I think we probably should have just bottom decked that stack. I don't think there's anything in there we care about. Especially
Yeah.
because I don't even think you had it set up to draw the Sangoro.
The
Um
Sengoku? No, I
yeah,
was gonna draw the 2K, I think, is what
yeah.
was next.
The nice thing is that we're going into 8 Dawn, and a fair percentage of the time he's going to wait. Are we going into 8 or am I tripping? 2, 4. Yeah,
Uh,
we're going in 8. A
yeah,
fair
because
percentage
we're
of the
restarting.
time he's actually going to give us stuff to Gravity Blade here, so that's pretty sweet. He's not, unfortunate.
Yeah, he just
A
played
lot of the
Sanji
time
and
they play
swung
two
into the board.
fours here, so
What are the
this
two
is
fours?
they'll play like he'll replay. I'm actually a little surprised he didn't do it. They'll
Mhm.
play like the Zoro that you just bounced plus the Onami.
Oh, okay. Play. Because Onami's going to draw them cards at this point because they should have
Yeah.
been at Econ.
Yeah, both will go +1 for them, and it will give them a blocker. And then what that allows them to do is it allows them to go to 10 next turn and then play Big Mom, while
Hmm.
also still having a Dawn up for Gum Gum Giant.
Hmm.
So I'm a little surprised about the Sanji, but it's okay.
Also, here in my mind, like I think my initial thought was, oh, I'm going to swing like 10 at their board so they can't crack back and kill me. But I was like, no, I want more cards on the other hand. This was a moment where I think out loud I said, I'm pressing W.
It's actually insane that your opponent used Gum Gum there. I actually cannot believe they used Gum Gum there. That was insane. I
Yeah.
like they lost their mind. Holy fuck. They lost their mind. That was
Yeah.
crazy.
Also, you notice they pitched a Sangoro. I don't think they ever got to play a Sangoro this game.
Yeah, they for sure don't. Which if they don't play Sangoro, the game's actually so easy. Cause
Yeah,
like
because then they
they
don't get to
need the
draw 2
yeah,
cards.
yeah, they need the card draw.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, him playing the Sanji here, I think out loud I said, what the fuck? I forgot you could do that.
Yeah,
I was so confused.
yeah, your opponent is actually just trolling like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, playing low rated ladder relatively is kind of funny because like I think when I first started playing rated, which
Mhm,
was on like Sunday or Monday of this week,
mhm,
I was at 30 million. I
mhm,
immediately went down to like 23 and then shot up to like 80 and then like 150 and now I'm sitting around like 250 or 300, which is
mhm,
like still very low, but it's like
mhm.
in a week's time, it's like that's okay. What did I bounce here? The Jinbei.
I have literally no oh, I guess because you want to replay your bow standing. That's actually fair. That's super real.
Yeah.
Why are you keeping it on? Okay, there we go. Yeah, just swing 10 at life, put him to 0.
Yep. I think initially I was thinking I wanted to like replay Sengoku. Don't tell me I swing into a body here. I just
Yeah.
yeah, we're pressing W. I'm so
Yeah.
proud.
Honestly, I would not have even hated just putting those at the bottom because if we find
Hmm.
perfume, we just win the game on the spot.
Yeah.
But it's semi-fair to not do it. How much Dawn is he at? Is he at 9? It's
Uh,
semi-fair to not do it simply because we can get punished putting like those good cards on the bottom if he decides to like make the game longer via Big Mom. So
mhm.
it's like fair enough. Okay, so he's just going for game, which we're super chill with because we have a bunch of counter in hand and a blocker.
Yeah. And a blocker. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy first swing from him, by the way, to go. I have literally no idea what our opponent's doing. No reason to counter out of that one. Like you can
Block
see
that
that
one.
his, well, no, like he swung
Oh, just
9,
take. Okay.
and you know that he can only go 8, 9.
Hmm.
So like you just take this because the swings can't get any bigger. So there's no reason. Yeah, again. Um, I mean, yeah, we had to block that. That's fair enough. Yeah, because see, like, once we don't take this life, like, if we had just taken it,
Hmm.
like, he doesn't have perfume in his deck. So, like, we can take and then we can block the last thing. Like,
Okay.
he swings, we counter. He swings again, we block. We would have one more thing on our board. It doesn't actually matter because he's, like, Omega dead anyways.
Yeah. He also had four, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 bricks in hand.
Yeah, like,
Which that's my favorite part about playing against that deck is they just have infinite bricks.
yeah, he's Omega dead. So like it actually doesn't matter, but like we should have this card in hand and
Hmm.
then the Weevil on our board. Like our opponents are always telegraphing to us what they can swing. Like it's out of their control. It's not like I'm trying to give an example in Yu-Gi-Oh! Like sometimes your opponent can just like do some bullshit where like now all of a sudden they can swing like infinite. I'm trying to
Right.
think of
It's
examples.
a good example is like if they were playing Shaddoll in like 2014, they're
Mm-hmm.
swinging with like Construct and they
Mm-hmm.
have double Shaddoll Fusion in their
Yeah,
hand. And you're like,
exactly.
okay, like I'm not gonna use a trap card or whatever to stop
Mm-hmm.
the Construct. I'll just take the 28, and then
Yep.
they're like, cool, I'll L Shaddoll Fusion and I'll
Yep.
fucking do it again, attack again.
Exactly. Exactly. That sort of thing just can't happen here. Like there's rush cards, but like with the amount of Dawn he had left, like that wasn't a
It
real
was never
thing.
happening yet. Now if he like saved, if he only used one Dawn,
Mm-hmm.
then I could anticipate a rush character coming down.
Yeah,
He did not.
possibly. But then even then, like having rush in the context of the game is very different than like an El Shaddoll fusion because the El Shaddoll fusion is really free. Whereas when you
Mhm.
play rush characters, like it takes the Dawn that you would have otherwise used swinging bigger anyways. So
Right.
like since we have perfect knowledge about what our opponent can do in this game
we can
compared
we
to
can
like
predict and
Yu-Gi-Oh,
play around. Yep.
yeah, so we should always know that we should be playing to take this last life and then block
Yep.
the last one.
Yep.
um
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
I thought this game was played pretty okay.
yeah, this game was fine. I think again I would have liked to like play the second thing and have my Jinbei sideways and like swing harder and then I mean it worked out for you because like he ended up playing the Zorojuro rather than the Songoro.
Yeah.
But
He actually
other
found this on Goro off that Sorajuro, so I don't think he ever had a chance to play it,
yeah,
which is interesting.
yeah, he didn't. Other
Cool.
than that, I think we played this game pretty reasonably.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
A lot of like tight, clean stuff to do in the early game to set up for a better late game that I can do better. But that's a skill.
yeah, I mean, just generally, like your deck is by far the strongest early game deck in the game.
Mhm.
Every other deck has a little bit better of a late game than you do, so you just want to be doing the shit. You want to be maximizing your early game because that's like what you have over everyone else. Is like
Mhm.
they get really fucking shook when you do some degenerate shit like play two characters and like you played two bodies and removed my body on my four on your forward on turn. Like that's just
Mhm.
fucking degen. Oh, and
Right.
you swung 8. You swung 8. If we had played the second teach and used teach effect to stack, we
Mhm.
would have played 2 4 5s. We would
Mhm.
have removed their 5 and we swing 8. Like that's just disgusting.
Yeah.
For
It's
one
actually
Dawn,
foul.
you play 8 Dawn and you remove their. It's just yeah.
It's foul, very foul.
Yeah.
Do you know who Pac is?
Of
Yu-Gi YouTuber.
course. Of
Okay,
course.
so you know his hoodie and like one of his phrases. I like
The
see
goo.
the lines,
Oh, see the
or
lines.
or the
Yeah.
goo. Yeah, but
I
I
own
have this
2 of the
hoodie.
goo ones.
I say I have a hoodie. It's like the dark green. I think it says
Mm-hmm.
like see the lines or whatever, and
See,
has a
yeah.
line going through it.
Mm-hmm.
Free merch idea. Everyone, you should buy this. I want you to make a hoodie or a shirt or something, preferably a hoodie because I have
Mm-hmm.
infinite hoodies and I
Yeah,
always
me
need
too.
more hoodies.
Me too.
Just to say press W. That's
Ooh.
because that's
I
like
like that idea.
I've only ever heard you say that, or maybe like a
Mm-hmm.
WoW players from
Mm-hmm.
fucking 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a keyboard. All the other keys are like smashed up.
Mm-hmm.
You giant finger pressing W, and then you could have like all your favorite fucking blue guys from this deck in there, like maybe like Dofi in the background or some shit, or like the glasses somewhere.
That's a phenomenal idea. I'm gonna try and start using that phrase in every single video so that way 6 months from now I
Mhm.
have the community hooked on it and then I sell the merch.
I promise you, day zero, if you announce it, I will buy two.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. That's a great idea.
I got you. Uh, yeah, yeah. I literally every time I'm watching your videos, I hear like the little shit that you say that no one else says, and I'm like, dude, this is free merch. This
Yeah,
is such
send me
free merch.
more ideas. If you hear anything else,
You
definitely
said,
send them
dude,
my ways.
I don't know if this is like because you're a West Coast guy or not,
Mm-hmm.
but like you just say some wild shit, which is not a bad thing. It's just
Mm-hmm.
different. And I'm like, that is so funny and unique, and I like it. And
Oh.
that's another reason why. Also, free advertisement by the way
Mm-hmm.
for the video.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no one else have I ever seen
Mm-hmm.
in any community
Mm-hmm.
go, hey, I don't like something about this community. I'm going to change it and
Mm-hmm.
actively do something different and better for the community.
Mm-hmm.
You are the first person that I've seen ever do that between Yu-Gi-Oh and One Piece, where you're like, yeah, I don't like this thing about the community. I'm gonna offer my services.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about me specifically making the channel because I felt like it didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I desperately was looking for like One Piece content
Mm-hmm.
that was like about someone who is getting into the game around the same time as I am, and
Mm-hmm.
then like trying to actively just get better and
Mm-hmm.
figuring out where your mistakes are, watching good players play, that kind of shit. Like you remind me a lot of Pac. Pardon the glazing, but like you guys both started at the same time that I did in both
Mm-hmm.
games,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys both were really relatively good off
Mm-hmm.
the bat, like off
Yeah.
the rip. Like he topped or he won an event with
Yeah.
Altergeist, of course, in
Yeah.
2019. And I'm watching you play, and like you're doing crazy on like ranked ladder, but you're also able to go, you know what? I could have played better here, and like you're able to dissect your mistakes and stuff, which is a huge part of the
You have
community
to.
that I don't see other people doing. And the people who do it, it's like exactly Vivi theory, and he's doing it with fucking Red Yellow Sabo, which no
Yeah.
disrespect to him. I love him and his content, but he's more casually
For
based,
sure.
which is fine. But I need someone who can be competitive, but also like reasonable and still funny and entertaining at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
And you check all the boxes.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. My entire thing when I decided to create the channel was I just
Mhm.
felt like when I got into the game, like man, in Yu-Gi-Oh we're so spoiled. Like we have so many great competitive content creators, whether it be, as you said, Pack or
Mhm.
DB Grinder or Joshua Schmidt or whoever, like so many people making great content.
Mhm.
And there's great One Piece content creators like Vivi Theory, Kardi Kaizu. I feel
Yep.
but they're more casual. They're playing red,
Yeah.
yellow Sabo, right?
Yeah.
And I was just
Which is
like,
fine. Which is
yeah,
fine.
it's
It's
fine.
not
It's fine.
for
It's
it's not.
great. It's
Yeah.
great. It's great content. I love it.
Yeah.
I watch it. I've got fucking Kardi Kaizuku fucking open right here. Right?
There
I'm a
you
fan.
go.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. But like we needed the competitive and I was fucking tired of it not existing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's another huge reason why I was like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to him and
Mm-hmm.
see if you're still doing the coaching thing because I wasn't sure how long you would be doing it for. Because regardless, I wanted to see how you actually think and play the game out loud. Because
Mm-hmm.
like when you started doing the coaching stuff, I was like, I actually really like how you're asking questions and
Mm-hmm.
talking to the person, just like a normal person. You're not like, this place sucked, you're trash. You're not like
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Yeah, of
'Cause
course not.
legitimately, like, I don't want to dog on my locals, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they're not the best teachers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's hard to take away from this game because coming from Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm so
Mhm.
Yu-Gi-Oh brained where I'm like, this is how you play Yu-Gi-Oh. This is how I understand it. Coming into One Piece, it's like, okay, I am trying to completely separate the two and only think one way.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you don't want to mix up like going +1 trying to find an advantage where you can.
Yeah.
It's a matter of like finding a board state and identifying a win condition versus
Yep.
in Yu-Gi-Oh where it's like I do my combo, I win, or like
Yep.
going through grind board states or whatever. But that's all. Who cares?
Yeah, completely different. Yeah. Yeah, I think I completely agree. Thank you for all the kind words. I really appreciate it. It means a lot.
Of course, I want to be truthful because exactly as you said with your very first video, where you were like, yeah, look, these were the coaching services that I went through. This is my actual real thoughts of them. It's like, look, I'm not gonna tell you that you're great if you're not actually great,
Yeah.
because like it's so hard to find a good teacher in anything in life. But when you find a good teacher, I don't want to let go. Like I'm gonna keep watching content, even if I don't get to do coaching again, or if I don't ask for coaching again, even if I lose on Saturday, I don't care. I'm gonna keep playing the game, and I'm gonna keep watching your shit, and then hopefully send you all the crappy replays that you can maybe put on the channel.
Always just trying to get better, right? That's always
Exactly, yeah.
always the
Because like
goal.
because like even if I never go to Worlds or Nats or whatever in this game, it's like this is a competitive outlet that I have that is just a good time, and that's what more people should remember. It's just a game.
It is just a game. I always say the exact same thing. We're here to have fun, right? Like we want to try and be good and do our best, but ultimately we play it because we love it and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I don't have anything else to spend my money on except rent. So rent, food, energy drinks, One Piece.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's what it's all about if you ask me.
Right. Um, last thing I guess before we
Mhm.
go is BY Luffy. How do you feel about the matchup? Is there like any key takeaways for it that I should like keep in my mind for BY?
Yeah. You want to put them in uncomfortable positions where like you're threatening pudding, you want to go really wide. I think Jozu on any turn besides like exactly 6 is often pretty bait. A lot
Okay.
of the time your main win condition is pudding.
Mhm.
Um, Jinbei and Teach are super important.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Do
Mhm.
you tend to starve them, or are you more like fuck it,
No, I've
SW?
tried starving. I just fucking try and kill him, man.
Yeah,
I think you
that's where I'm
can.
at.
I think maybe there were worlds where when the deck played Kaido, you could starve them sometimes, but I think
Mhm.
generally right now you can't starve them. You gotta
You just gotta press W.
press W, man. That's what you gotta do.
Exactly. Because I played BY for like a short period of time when
Hmm.
was like I was going back and forth between Dofi and BY, and I was like, okay, as a BY player, what do I not want someone to do to me? And it's like put me at 2 life by like turn 5, and then like 0 life next turn, because then I don't get to like play Gecko and like get awakened and all that stuff. So it's like if I'm so pressured that like I'm super low on cards early and like really quickly, and I'm like top decking and praying that I hit Gecko, even if you resolve Gecko and you get to a 9K leader, unless you top deck Gecko every single turn, it's like you're not winning. Like eventually you run out and you just
Yeah,
you just lose.
you do. You will eventually
Yep.
run out of resources.
Yeah. Like people think BY is really scary, but it's only scary if your opponent draws the nuts and they're also Italian. I'm only scared of Italian BY players. You can quote me on that.
I'll
It's
keep
it's
that in
it's so
mind.
it's so true. Yeah, I'm gonna ask all my BY opponents on Saturday. Are you Italian?
Are you
No. I hope I
Italian?
win.
Yeah, the Italians are fucking cracked at BY, man. They really are.
They really are. They hit you with a triple zombie Luffy.
Oh my god, you're
Dude,
sick.
that video was crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh
yeah,
my god. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. Your name is Jared, right?
that is me. Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
and
pleasure,
I'm just a guy.
Jared. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure. Thank you
What
for
do you what do you
hmm?
like being called? By the way, I don't know if I should call you a Quinby or Q or
I don't care if you call me Quinby, E Quinby, Elijah,
Elijah. Okay,
OPTCG Grinder. I really don't care to be honest. Yeah, I would respond to all of them.
cool. Okay, Elijah.
Yeah.
Also, DB Grinder, huge dude. Love him.
Yeah. The goat.
Got to meet
Literally
him
the
at
goat.
Orlando. He's just a chill dude. His favorite cereal, cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, that man eats crazy things. Is all I'll say about his diet. That's all I'll say.
Peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again so much, Jared,
Yeah.
and hope to hear from you again. Let me know how Saturday goes, and you
Oh,
can always reach
absolutely.
out to me if you ever have any questions about anything. If
I
it's feel free.
When
if
I
you're playing
am
Sim.
hopefully 5-0 after 4 hours of playing on Saturday, I will hopefully get to message you. And if I'm 0-5, then I'll just cry about it.
Still do it. Fuck it. YOLO.
Oh yeah. But anyways,
Alright.
thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course.
I can say comfortably that I'm walking away with a lot more information than I had walking in.
Fuck yeah.
And I feel way more comfortable going into Saturday. And I'm gonna stay up for the next like 36 hours just grinding ladder.
There we go. That's all you can do, right?
Right. All right, man. You
All right.
have a great night, and hopefully I'll get to talk to you soon. I'll see you.
Yes, you too. Have a good one, Jared.